You've heard switching to Medishare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month. And that's huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for Medishare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Medishare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Baltimore Orioles baseball.
Flooped, shallow center. Charging in is Judge. It will drop in there, and Mateo is going to come around and score. So Mullins flares one in front of Aaron Judge. And Mullins' base hit means that the Orioles get on the board, and it's a 3-1 game.
Catch all the action right here on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
Do you need custom t-shirts, apparel, or promotional items for your business, organization, or event? Keep it local. Print it local with University Sportswear. University Sportswear ENC.com is your one-stop shop for all promotional products for your business. With over 1 million items to shop from, University Sportswear ENC.com offers high-quality products at prices to fit any budget. Visit University Sportswear ENC.com for contact information and to get shopping. University Sportswear ENC.com, the official sportswear provider of Pirate Radio.
When a storm hits, you can count on Greenville Utilities. They put their emergency storm plan into action to restore power as quickly and safely as possible. If you experience an outage, call them toll-free at 1-855-767-2482. The automated hotline can handle a large number of calls at once, virtually eliminating busy signals, so help can be on the way as fast as possible. Remember, GUC's emergency hotline number is 1-855-767-2482.
That perfect tractor package you've been eyeing at Quality Equipment just got a little more perfect. Haul your next 1, 3, or 5 Series John Deere tractor off the lot on your brand new trailer. Visit our site at QualityEquip.com to add it to your package. Start with Quality Equipment to get any task done right. We've got the full line of John Deere equipment priced right with low monthly payments and special financing. Plus, we service everything we sell. Visit QualityEquip.com to see our latest offers.
Before anyone walks into your business, the outside is what they see. Make sure your first impression is a good impression with the right curb appeal. Hi, this is Daniel Andrews from Dan Andrews Lawn Service. We specialize in making your business look great. Let us handle all your professional landscaping needs. We do it all so you don't ever have to worry. Residential services are also available. Call us today at 717-8006 and we'll come out and give you a free quote. Taking care of your landscaping needs is all we do, and we've been doing it for over 20 years. You can trust our reliable team at Dan Andrews Lawn Service, covering all of Eastern North Carolina.
Hi, this is Jeff Charles, and welcome inside the booth. If you are in New England this summer, you might want to stop by Brockton, Mass. I'll tell you why right after this.
Hey, Pirate Nation, come party with us for the Pirate Radio Football Kickoff Party. It's back and approaching fast. Tickets are on sale right now for only $10. 100% of the ticket sales will be donated to local charities. Join our Pirate Radio crew Thursday, September 1st at the State Theater in downtown Greenville, featuring 80s music by The Breakfast Club, plus many more special surprises. Go to PR927fm.com right now to get your tickets before it sells out. And go Pirates!
The Brockton Rocks are a Summer League collegiate team in the Futures Collegiate Baseball League. This story is about their roster. Here are the names: Pedro Martinez Jr., Manny Ramirez Jr., D'Angelo Ortiz, Jaden Sheffield, and Cade Polk. Yes, you figured out by now, their fathers are all former major leaguers and some of the best to ever play the game. The Brockton Rocks are a hot ticket. Sure, their fans come to see the games, but a big part of the appeal is to rub elbows with the players' famous dads. Attendance has doubled to 1,500 per game this year. Time will tell if any of the sons will make it to the big leagues. None of them are playing in a high-profile D1 program, but no one can deny they have the pedigree. The Brockton Rocks, a hot ticket this summer in New England. Come on back again next time, and we'll visit inside the booth.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington.
Can you be quiet, please? Thank you.
Welcome to Pirate Radio Live.
Hi.
Tabua. Aub. What about Aub? Safula.
Cool, neat story.
Was that supposed to be funny? There's local politics, bud.
Don't go over the rules. It'll take forever. Let's just get to the draft.
Let's get the pumping.
I got a little taco meat on my chest.
It's gonna be fun. We in the thick. I mean, everybody gonna be loud. I'm gonna be loud with them. I'm gonna screaming too. Like, yeah, let's go, let's do this. You ready for this? I am.
Now live from the Pirate Radio studios in the heart of the Pirate Nation, here is your host, Clip Brock.
All right, welcome in to a Football Friday and a Free Beer Friday edition of Pirate Radio Live. Clip Brock here inside the Pirate Radio studios, coming to you on Pirate Radio 92.7 FM in Greenville, 104.1 in Washington. We're on 1250, 930. You can find us online, pr927fm.com, and watch the show on Facebook Live and on YouTube. You can be a part of the show there, chiming in with your questions, comments, concerns on this hot Friday in Eastern North Carolina, the final Friday in July. When we rejoin you on Monday, we will be in the month of August, and that means it's football time. We got a lot of football talk coming your way today on Pirate Radio Live. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, Tony Dunn, CarolinaCatChronicles.com will join us. Training camps are open, so we'll talk NFL in hour number 2 of today's show. At 5 o'clock, we'll talk to East Carolina offensive line coach Steve Shankweiler. He'll join us to talk about a position group he's very excited about in 2022. Also, Brian North, WCTI 12, will join us as well to talk some football, and we will kick off today's show with the head football coach of the Pirates, Mike Houston, joining us here inside the Pirate Radio studios. Coach, great to have you in. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me in.
I guess thanks for joining us on your last day of summer, pretty much, right?
That's about it. So it's here. It's time.
I asked Shank about this earlier when I talked to him briefly, and he's been around so long. I said, have you perfected the art of vacation, of taking time off? Because you don't get a lot of time off. So by now, do you know when you can get away? And he said basically the body tells you for you. You kind of know, all right, I got a couple weeks here and I got to get back to the grind. How about you? Have you been able to kind of get the family part of it with the football part of it this summer?
Yeah, I mean, July is the chance that we get because recruiting goes dead. So, you're still, you're talking to kids every single day, but you can get away from town. So, we kind of, Big John takes the team. He and his staff take the team the first 3 weeks in July, and the staff, we get reacquainted to our families and wives and kids and unplug a little bit. And, we've done that. And so now you're recharged and ready for fall camp.
Got a lot of veterans on this team that do things on their own without the coaches watching over them. So how much of that has gone on this summer? Are you even aware of everything the players have been doing on their own?
So they changed the rules this summer to where we could be out there for, the player-led practices.
Okay.
Which really helped. June, we basically practiced twice a week, with the coaching staff. And so in July, you had a couple times a week. We would, even during the downtime, we rotated days in the office. So you had a couple of coaches there for any of the team things. Now, all the guys are doing things on their own. Owen Daffer, he likes to get out there in the evenings and kick on his own. Holton and the receivers, they have their time, kind of on their own. So the one-offs that those veteran guys are having, those are going on all the time. But the one thing I do know is what has really changed with the program is when I got here in 2019, anything that was voluntary, they weren't out there. I mean, you didn't have a whole lot of strong leadership in the program. There wasn't a bunch out there busting their tails doing extra. Now you have a very motivated roster. You have a roster that, they want to be great. They want to be special. They know we got a shot this year. So they're doing all the little things on their own to make sure they're ready.
I'm glad to hear about the change that coaches are allowed. When Coach Ruffin McNeil first got hired in 2010, we had a special teams coach, and I don't know the full story, but the way it was told, he was kind of
peering off from the bushes, watching some guys practice during the summer, and he was let go. Like it sounds crazy, but so they have made some adjustments to that stuff.
So it's still the same amount of time you have with them each week. You have 8 hours a week during the summer. But you can have, a little bit of that time can be out on the field. You can only have a football. You can't have pads. You can't use blocking sleds or anything like that. But you can have a football, so you can go out there and you can take them through drills. You can do some stuff where the quarterback and the running backs are working and the receivers and the quarterbacks are working. So really, I think it's a smart rule. It's one of the few things I would say that the NCAA has done lately that I would say was smart. But I think it kind of does away with the stuff that you're talking about with, with that guy with Ruff.
Yeah, just kind of silly, common sense stuff. Yeah. Chandler Honeycutt here, by the way. CJ Schaefer, Shirley Rhodes, joining us here in the Pirate Radio studios on a Friday. Mike Houston here, and the media coach. I know you love the media, including myself.
Well, you guys.
Igo and everybody you talk to.
This is going to be a lot more enjoyable today. It's like we're missing something that kind of sometimes holds us back.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I can't put my finger quite on what it is, but no, the media picking East Carolina 6th. I kind of looked at it. I know you don't care. I looked at it this way. It seems like there's two tiers, and Phil Steele has this in his magazine where you've got UCF and Cincinnati and Houston kind of in one tier, and then East Carolina's in that second tier with Memphis, who you knocked off last year, SMU, who's not on the schedule this year, so we won't get to prove it on the field. But I don't know how you look at the league itself, but you gave your thoughts yesterday on being put 6. You don't really care. But how about the league as a whole overall and where East Carolina stacks up with it?
Well, I mean, personally, I think we're as good as anybody. I mean, I don't mind saying that publicly. I think we got a shot every single week this fall, but I think our league is really good. I mean, I'll tell you, one of the most dangerous teams in our league is going to be Navy this year. I just really think they're going to bounce back and have a strong year. And you look where they're picked. So the one thing I can say is it's a whole lot better to be talking about being disrespected, picked 6th. Than when I first got here and we were battling it out with UConn to see who was picked last,
Yeah, absolutely.
So at least, we have expectations and it gives the fans something to talk about, and we're excited for the opener.
You're a great motivator. We've seen your speeches and famously, but I don't know, do you use this outside stuff at all? What do you ignore and what do you allow in to give your team an edge?
I mean, I'm sure our kids are, kind of pissed off about it, but that's good. They should be.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Use it to your advantage.
Yeah.
Looking forward to talking to some of those guys on the team on Monday. The Pirate Radio Players Lounge will be back, and we got some returners from last year. They excited to get Holton on, obviously. Got to know Rajay Harris. Xavier Smith is a big personality. But one of the guys we've got on this year, Coach, I can't wait to meet him, is Miles Berry. Everybody just talks so glowingly about him. Blake Harrell was on last Friday and said that's his wife's favorite player. Just sounds like a great young man, a very interesting young man, and a good football player to boot. So excited to get to know him, but he sounds like a really special guy.
He's awesome. I'm telling you, he'll be one of your favorites all time kind of deal. It's just such a total package, and had to go through the unfortunate stuff last year with his dad passing away during the season. So I really got to know his mom. It's such a great family he comes from. But I joke with all the kids that they're all going to work for him one day because he's, and you'll feel the same way. Once you guys get to know him, I mean, there's no doubt that kid is going to be highly successful in life.
And he is in a position group right now. You lose guys that have been around here, heck, before you got here with Bruce Bivens and Aaron Ramseur. But you look at Xavier Smith, Miles, you throw Jeremy Lewis, who's a rush in that mix. You've got some very talented and veteran guys at that linebacker position and really across the board. You look at the depth chart here, a lot of familiar names, and we'll talk about some newcomers, but a lot of names we're used to seeing on the field.
Well, during that pandemic year, 2020, we had kind of retooled the roster after 2019 and just, tried to get, more of our what we thought could win in this league kind of kids in here. And, we made the decision that we're going to play them. And so, we played a ton of freshmen in 2020. And so, the result is now all those kids are third-year players. And so, you talk about Rajay, you talk about Keaton, you talk about Shane Calhoun, you talk about all these kids that have so much experience now. Now you have a veteran football team which still most of them have a lot of eligibility. Miles and X don't. They're in their last year. Holtonson is last year. But the bulk of the roster has multiple years of eligibility left.
And that's great that they have that experience. It's also great on the other side that you can bring in O linemen, bring in D linemen, and have them redshirt and actually do it the way you'd like to do it, right? You're able to do that with depth.
Well, and I kind of said it last week in an interview. If a freshman plays on this team this year, they will have to be really special, because really you don't need the freshmen to play. You have upperclassmen that have experience, have played a lot. Now with us, hey, it's whoever performs in practice is going to play on game day. I don't care if they're a freshman, I don't care if they're a senior, I don't care if they're a walk-on, don't care if they're a scholarship player. You earn your playing time in practice. And it's, everybody's got an equal opportunity.
I know we saw a lot of Rajay and some of Keaton as freshmen. I don't know if you know offhand, but how many true freshmen have you played like the last few years? Do you feel like it is different this year where you're going to have to be pretty darn elite if you get on the field?
Yeah. I mean, it's just, the fact was when we got here, we didn't have much depth on the lines. We did not have very good team speed. And so when we recruited that class, that first class with Rajay and Keaton and all those D linemen and Shane Calhoun and all those kids were such an upgrade athletically and speed and size, they played. But you would have to really be a pretty special young player to get on the field.
I don't know. How much one-on-one are you going to be doing this fall camp? Because those battles between the O-line and D-line are going to be pretty darn good.
They'll be good. But we have to do that during preseason camp because I really, that's going to be what we hang our hat on. I think that's our advantage is just the physicality and the toughness in those players up front. Because I do think we have the ability finally to, control the line of scrimmage on both sides.
We've been talking to a lot of high school coaches, and Kendrick Parker, first-year head coach at South Central, he's been there a while, played college football at Elizabeth City State. He said 25 years ago it used to be you go to fall camp to get ready for the season. Now, if you're not ready when you show up to fall camp, right, you're way behind. So I'm sure you have that expectation for your team that they hit the ground running coming up next week, right?
Well, I told them last week, before we broke, they had the week off this week, so. But I told them that, that first practice next Wednesday, I expect us to look like a good football team. I had it at Lenore-Rhine in 2013. We had it at JMU in 2017, where you had, a veteran experienced roster coming back. And, you expect a team that's returning that kind of depth to really be sharp day one. And the freshmen, I've told them, I said, this is going to be the hardest thing you've ever done in your entire life. I mean, preseason camp is brutal, but it's kind of a rite of passage, for college football players.
A lot of depth on this team. A lot of guys know what to expect. Also, you've brought in some reinforcements on the offensive line, the secondary, and at the receiver position. How much of an instant impact are you expecting from the upperclassmen you brought in through the transfer portal? A couple of positions there.
We expect all of them to play. I mean, there's a reason they were brought here. There's a reason they came here. We didn't take anyone that, from what I've seen this summer that was just a miss. I like their character and the way they fit in with our current roster. But we expect those guys to be immediate impacts.
How good can Isaiah Winstead be for this team? A lot of praise coming from that young man.
I think he could be an all-conference player. I really do. He's got the size. He's got the athleticism. He's got the maturity. He's got the right mentality. He has incredible hands. I mean, he does not drop it. And so, I think he's a guy that will, be someone that Holton will be able to count on. And he's a guy that can win the one-on-one matchups on the outside, which he's probably going to get a lot of it because, with Ryan Jones and CJ and Shane and those guys and on the inside and the running backs, you're going to get a lot of one-on-one coverage on the outside.
Well, Coach, when you got here, we didn't have much of an O-line, a D-line. I don't think we had any tight ends in the room. And now
we had one.
You've built that room up. And Ryan Jones kind of went from a guy last year like, all right, you got something here we're counting on this guy. Like he's he's the leading receiver returning for East Carolina with Snead and Omatosho moving on. So he's a huge part of what you want to do offensively this year, I would imagine.
He is. I think he's he's got a shot to to play after college. I mean, I think he's going to get an opportunity. He knows what he's got to do this year in order to get that opportunity. But certainly we're counting on him, to have a big season. That being said, don't sleep on Shane Calhoun, because when we recruited him, I told him, I said, you have a chance to be the complete package at the tight end position in this league, and he has not disappointed me one bit. I think just Ryan gives you that older guy that is more a flex guy, and there's certain things that he can do. There's also certain things that Shane is really, really good at. So I'm really excited about the combination of both of them playing on the field together, and sometimes just one of them.
We label guys, and if you ever hear it, I'm sure you laugh at Igo and I talking about players. But we were talking about the tight ends. Aaron Jarman, we label him as more of a blocking tight end. Ryan Jones, a receiving tight end. And we kind of said Shane Calhoun, it does a little bit of everything, right? I mean, is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, that's not that Aaron can't catch the ball, but he's more of an inline, bigger body, tight end. Ryan is, he can flex out 3-by-1. He can be the backside one and do just fine. And then Shane can do a little bit of everything. You will see Shane all over the place, and inline and a wing position in the backfield, moving around. And I think he does give you the ability to be a great run blocker, and he does give you the ability to match him up on some guys.
What's the receiver battle look like as far as starters go heading into camp? Can you give us any names right now?
Well, they're going to figure it out. You look at them on paper, they'll figure it out. You got Isaiah, you got Taji, you got Garner, the transfer from Duke, CJ, Maceo, Brock, Jalen Johnson, Kerry King, Josiah Hatfield. I thought Murph had a good spring. So you got a lot of guys on paper that are going to be vying for those starting spots, and they'll figure it out. They'll make that that decision. Tyler Savage, one kid that we didn't talk about a while ago, he is going to be more of moving inside with Shane and Ryan, and be kind of that next guy for us. Once Ryan graduates.
Okay, and this is not like Mike Houston dodging a question or coach speak. I remember the year when Raji was a true freshman. We knew him from recruiting, but didn't know much about it. You really kind of went week to week. Who's having the best week of practice? That's right. Who's playing running back. That's a philosophy you live by.
Yeah, but that's as long as the kids understand it and they embrace it, that's the way it should be. You earn your playing time. I think that's one thing that I think Coach Foster has done. Chris Foster has done a great job with, because you have two, number one starting running backs. You got Rajay Harris and you got Keaton Mitchell, and I've told the coaches and told the players, I said the one thing that you got to be careful with is there's only one football. You name all these guys, there's only one football. And you know how it is. That's if one guy's getting it 1 week or whatever, one guy's getting it the next week, you can't worry about that stuff. But I think Chris has done a great job of managing those two to where, they do pull for each other. Yes, they compete for playing time. Yes, they all want to be the starter. They all want the ball. But as long as there's, always a respect, and, you're pulling for the other guy, it can work.
Do you and Coach Foster, Coach Kirkpatrick have those discussions about, we got to get Keaton 18 to 22 today, or Rajay 16? What are those talks like leading up to a game, as far as one ball, like you said, a lot of weapons? How do you disperse it?
Well, it depends on the week, because, one of them may be banged up, may not be completely healthy. There may be a certain matchup. I think all of those guys, you got to make sure that they're getting the ball X amount. And I do say, hey, Ryan's got to get a minimum of 8 touches, this week. But a lot of it is dictated by how they're playing, how their health is, who we're playing, what the matchup looks like. The great thing is, though, Holton, when we got here, there wasn't a running back. Let's just be honest. You did not have a top-tier running back. You did not have an offensive line that could protect him. You really, CJ, as a freshman, was your primary top target. And, Snead had a good year that year, but, you didn't have the weapons around there that you have now. So it's not like you're depending on just one person anymore.
And yeah, you've got a lot of options on that offense, and it's exciting. How about Kenny Curlin's asking on Facebook, expecting a big year from Holton Ahlers. How about the confidence level from you and the coaching staff with Mason Garcia right now to go in a game if he needs to?
Completely confident. I think he's ready to play. You'll see him a good bit this year. I think we've got to get him ready for, one way or the other. Holton Ahlers, this is his last year at East Carolina. I want it to be an all-conference year, and I hope he lights the record books up and takes us to all the goals that we have. But we've also got to prepare for next year because it will be time for somebody else.
Well, we saw it a little bit last year. He came in spot situations and was able to throw a touchdown, run in a touchdown. Is that something you're looking to do again this year, getting him out there in certain spots?
Well, I think last year most of those situations were package kind of deals. I think Mason has command of the entire offense now. So I just think we got to find opportunities to get him some experience and get him on the field and let him play.
Still kind of crazy to think about that crazy COVID year and Holton Ahlers unable to play, and you just threw him right into the fire in that Navy game and did some good things, showed his athleticism, also showed that he was very raw. So I'm sure he's, night and day from that day?
Yeah, I have nightmares about that week. So, I mean, it's, he was not ready to play. He showed his ability. But I do think that day was good for him because that day, I think that showed him just how much he had to improve on, just from a standpoint of understanding the offense, grasping the concept of the pass plays and the reads and the checks, and that was a tough week for all of us.
It's got to be great for him to have a guy like Holton Ahlers to look up to show you. And Holton's not perfect, but the preparation's always there, the work ethic. And you can probably say that about all your position groups, guys looking up to Miles and Xavier and looking up. So that's a great thing to have for these younger guys coming in, right?
Well, and I told our leadership council, we talked about this literally last week, and it's, the unfortunate thing for Miles and Xavier and some of those guys is they did not have strong leadership when they were young. And that was a big issue with the program. Now you have very strong leaders across the board, and I've really challenged them to be strong leaders, to be vocal. And you should have those freshmen coming in kind of just, hey, they're going to show you how it's supposed to be done because they understand the expectations. They've put in the work. They know, when you show up each day, we're going to work. And there's a certain level of expectation on what kind of effort you put into it.
Talking to Mike Houston today inside the Pirate Radio studios. David says Mims. I believe that you got two Mims on the roster.
Two of them.
Chandre is the older.
He's
Mims.
the older.
He says he will. He's under the radar and will make a difference on the defense. And said his younger brother has great potential as well. How about the Mims boys that you brought in this offseason?
I think Chandre has been really good for us from a standpoint of leadership and work ethic and toughness, and he has a great motor. Strong character guy. I think that Chandre has been fantastic for his little brother CJ, because basically Chandre, he told CJ before he got here this summer, you're not going to embarrass me. So you better make sure that you're ready to. And CJ's responded. We've been very pleased because, big young kids, a lot of times they really struggle when they first get here, just from a conditioning standpoint, motor, the way they compete. But CJ has done a really good job this summer, and really excited about his future.
I go back to this a lot, but I remember last year, I think it was spring ball, you're talking about DJ Ford, who just came in as a leader already. I was like, wow. And then we got to meet him, and we see why a very mature young man. He's a grown man, basically. Right. And he acclimated so well. And I've talked to Coach Kirkpatrick and Blake Harrell about this, about the guys you bring in. If they're not a locker room fit, your players will tell you, and you'll get them out of there. But it sounds like, once again, you've brought in a group of guys from the portal, from other places that fit in and are going to be a part of the Pirate program right away.
Well, we try very hard to do our homework and really check them out character-wise, and the coaches understand, what works and what doesn't. Because if you bring a kid in that's not strong character, that doesn't work, doesn't compete, doesn't do those things, it's not going to go real well for them. So I've been very pleased. Justin Redd, I think he's going to be a great leader on our offensive front. I think Isaiah is going to be a strong leader in that wide receiver room. I think Washington has shown some of those same leadership traits on the defensive side of the ball, and I think Chandre is going to be a guy that does that on that side of the ball.
Kenny Carlin's asking about the special teams, specifically the return game. You do lose all of your punt return yards from last year, and Jaquan McMillan did quite a bit of kick returning. So who are the guys you're looking at to fill those shoes in the return game?
Well, I mean, I think you'll see probably Malik Fleming, Juwan Powell, Josh Murphy. Those guys will be handling the punt return duties. You're going to see Keaton Mitchell, Josiah Hatfield, Kerry King, those guys handling the kick return duties. So, you've got plenty of guys. You just don't have, Snead was the do-it-all guy for 3 years. I hate that he's not here anymore. I talked to him last week. He's doing great up in Pittsburgh, and so pulling for him. But life moves on, so it's time for somebody else to fill those shoes.
Seen a few Jaquan McMillan highlights as well out in Denver, and a big year for Malik Fleming, who I think has the confidence and has shown he's got some of the skill as well. You're counting on him to be your number one corner this year?
Well, I'm counting on him to be a solid starter. I'm counting on him to be a great leader. Counting on him to really, kind of take that next step from a standpoint of the locker room and the unit and stuff like that. I think we have some other guys there that are going to be really good players at the corner position, but certainly Malik has the experience of being out on that field.
And I misspoke earlier when I was talking about Jaquan McMillan returning kicks. I was looking at interceptions. And another name that pops up, Warren Sava, who we love around here. Great interview. I remember he kind of said he had a meeting with you early on. He didn't know if he was going to go or stay, and he was one of those guys that really bought in. But more leadership there on the back end. How about that secondary, losing guys like McMillan, Saba, who's stepping up for you in those spots?
Well, the good thing is you have a lot of guys that have played a lot of snaps. So, at corner, you got DeMille Hickman. Of course, we've slid Juwan Powell over there in the spring. I do think Juwan needs to be prepared to play both corner and field safety. I'm really excited about Siobhan Ravel. I'm really excited about Fletcher. Those two guys are big, long corners. They're going to have a chance to play and compete for some playing time there. They're just young. I thought DeMille really had a good summer. So he's been here. I really hope he steps in there at the corner position. But at safety, Tegan Wilk played a lot. Really. Expect some big things from him. Then you got Julius Wood at field safety, who had a great spring. I think he's an all-conference caliber player, first year starting. Sean Dorso has played a lot of snaps, has started a lot of ball games for us, so expect him to compete for a starting job. Jairo Wilson, Gerard Stringer. So it's not like, I hate that Warren and J-Mac and DJ and all them, graduated and moved on or went on to the NFL. But it's not like the cupboard's bare there in the secondary.
Right. That's the sign of a good program and the depth you've built. I was going to bring up your guy, Chandler Jairo Wilson. What is that position? Is that a hybrid position that he plays?
Well, he really plays two positions. He plays the Sam, which is the down safety, which that's anymore, that position's really changed for us the last several years. So anymore, you got to be able to play man coverage. You got to be able to play the run. It really takes a special player. He and Gerard both can do that at a very high level. And so we've worked Jairo a lot at the buck safety position on the back end this summer. That way we can get he and Gerard on the field together. That way it gives us another experienced guy there with Tegan. So I think Jaira's kind of a special guy that he has the ability to play both down near the line of scrimmage and, back deep in the secondary.
Blake Harrell, year 3, heard Miles Berry talking about that yesterday and how multiple it is, how he wants to do different things. So, and I asked Coach about it last week, how much does he like to change things, add new things? He says you can't be stagnant or you're going to get left behind. So how about with you and Coach Kirkpatrick, Coach Harrell, as far as innovating, bringing new stuff in? How often do you do that each and every year?
Well, it's constant. It's, really that's the thing that I was most impressed with when I interviewed Blake, because he had been with me before, and had taken the defense that we ran for so many years, and he had evolved it so drastically. We've added some things this summer. We've tweaked some things this summer. We were literally sitting in there working on our game plan for Navy yesterday.
I was going to ask about
that. You constantly have to evolve, because if you don't, you're going to get passed by. So I think that both sides of the ball, because your talent's different. All of a sudden, your weapons on offense are different this year. There's going to be some things that you're going to do different. So I think you've constantly got to evolve in all phases, not just offense, defense. You got to evolve special teams wise. We've made quite a few adjustments this off season there. So really excited about where we sit here as we get ready to start camp next week.
And it's go time now, Coach. What are you've got a ton of goals, I'm sure. What do you want to accomplish these first couple weeks of camp with your team? What do you want to see the most from them?
Well, it's the first 2 weeks are going to be, they're going to get after it. So it's going to be highly competitive, a lot of competition. We're going to put them in a lot of game situations. There's going to be, you guys be out of practice for some of it, but there's going to be lots of situations where it's good on good, something's on the line, and it's as close to a game situation as we can make it. And what we found, this group, they really respond to competition. And so first couple of weeks of camp, we really want to just focus on us, try to develop the toughest, hard-nosed, make plays, get after it, play together group that we can do. And then the last 2 weeks, we're really going to focus on NC State.
Mike Houston joining us. That fires me up. It means it's almost here. East Carolina football 2022. Players reporting in a few days, and then practice begins. And Coach will be right there in the thick of it. We'll let you go with this. How many wins for the Cowboys and Commanders in 2022?
Here's what I will say. There's no way that the Cowboys don't win more than the Commanders do. There's no way.
No way?
No way. No, the Cowboys are going to win the East. The Cowboys have to be one of the early picks to win the Super Bowl this year.
Whoa.
I feel very strong about that. The Commanders.
I know you've been busy and having.
The Commanders are going to be battling it out with the Giants for last place in the East.
Oh my goodness!
You might even have an owner by next week. He might be locked up.
That would be a good thing. Get that guy out of there, and I'll really be happy with things. How about hanging out on a yacht so you don't get served a subpoena? What in international waters?
Well, that
guy's a genius.
He has solutions for problems that we don't.
That is very true. Coach, thanks for hanging out. We appreciate it. We'll see you on the practice fields next week.
All right, it's go time. Go
yes,
Pirates.
sir. Mike Houston joining us, firing us up for some football. We will talk to Steve Shankweiler later on in the show, take a deep dive into the offensive line for the 2022 Pirates. More to go, hour one of a Free Beer Friday edition of PRL. We're back with you after this.
Hey, Chandler, what are you up to tonight?
Jenny, it's Tuesday, and I'm going to go sing with DJ Captain Morgan for karaoke at The Buck.
Well, that sounds like fun. I have to work. Well, what are you up to this weekend?
Well, believe it or not, I'm going to go listen to some live music Friday and Saturday night at The Buck.
Live music all weekend long, really?
Yep, all weekend, and they also have the biggest high-definition screen to watch all the sporting events on Sunday Fun Day.
I'm going to have to go check that out.
Yeah, just check out The Buck on Facebook or Instagram for all the information. The Buck.
Party like a pirate on Thursday, September 1st at the Pirate Radio Football Kickoff Party, featuring entertainment by America's favorite 1980s tribute band, The Breakfast Club.
Can't you see what I mean? Might as well jump.
Tickets are available now at pr927fm.com for only $10. All ticket proceeds will be donated to charity. The Pirate Radio Football Kickoff Party is back. Get your tickets today at pr927fm.com.
So how does short points work?
Well, like Jersey Mike's, 6 regular number 13s plus 3 giant number 7s equals a free regular number 13. So Pepsi and Lay's now earn more points towards free subs.
That adds up.
Exactly. Download the Jersey Mike's app and earn rewards towards free subs with every sub, Pepsi, and Lay's you purchase.
So how does short points work?
Well, at Jersey Mike's, 6 regular number 13s plus 3 giant number 7s equals a free regular number 13. So Pepsi and Lay's now earn more points towards free subs.
That adds up.
Exactly. Download the Jersey Mike's app and earn rewards towards free subs with every sub, Pepsi, and Lay's you purchase.
You know texting while driving is dangerous. That's not new information. Yet most people admit to doing it anyway. Drivers are 23 times more likely to be involved in a car accident while texting. Know the facts and wait to text. The danger is real and it applies to you. Auto Owners Insurance, the no problem people. Information provided by Virginia Tech Transportation Institute.
This is Norm Bryant with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates.
While you're sleeping, our whole hogs are slow cooking over wood to create that bite that Eastern North Carolina is known for. I'm Sam Jones, and for more than 3 generations, my folks have been the torchbearers for what whole hog barbecue is supposed to be. At Sam Jones, you'll find plenty of smoke, but no mirrors. Everything, and I mean everything, is made fresh daily, including our sides, sweets, and sauces. Come on over and see us at Sam Jones Barbecue, and I bet you'll be able to taste our passion in just one bite. Sam Jones Barbecue, Fire Tower Road.
The icy treat that can't be beat is Sparky Snowballs. From big kids to little kids, Sparky Snowballs has been making smiles happen for over 20 years. If you're not in the mood to chill out with a snowball, Sparky's funnel cakes and fried Oreos are a perfect Sparky-licious treat every time. Are you having an event, party, or fundraiser? Call Sparky's to come on site. Remember to follow Sparky's on Facebook or visit SparkySnowballs.com to see where they'll be next.
Do you have any real estate questions about buying or selling residential or commercial properties? Are you curious about this current real estate market? Do you need a property manager for all your rental houses? This is proud ECU alum Scott Harris with RE/MAX Preferred Realty and SD Harris Properties, and I would love to help answer every question you have and show you a real estate experience that will be memorable and enjoyable. Every step of the way, I'm here to make your dreams a stress-free reality. Call me today at 347-1857. That's 347-1857. Go Pirates.
Wings Over delivers. Wings Over delivers. Wings Over delivers. If you're looking for wings to be delivered to your home, Wings Over Greenville has you covered with no third party needed. Wings Over Greenville has its own in-house delivery service. Be sure to try the all-new tender sandwiches by ordering ahead on the Wings Over mobile app. Open till 3 a.m. on Friday and Saturday, Wings Over has everything to cure those late-night munchies. Give them a call at 758-9464. Wings Over Greenville. They deliver.
This is Coach Donnie Kirkpatrick, offense coordinator for ECU football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. Do you need custom t-shirts, apparel, or promotional items for your business, organization, or event? Keep it local. Print it local with University Sportswear. Contact them today at universitysportswearenc.com. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Hey, need some beer for the weekend? The Jarvis Street Bottle Shop near Christie's Euro Pub is the specialty shop selling craft, domestic, and import brews, along with wine and growlers. The Bottle Shop offers monthly beer and wine tastings, featuring rotating North Carolina breweries along with live music and discounts. Stop by Tuesday through Sunday or check out the Jarvis Street Bottle Shop on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Rock.
All righty, back with you, Pirate Radio Live. Thanks to Mike Houston for hanging out first half hour of the show today. Good roster chat. He mentioned a couple of names I have literally never heard of. It reminds me that Stephen Igo and I have not yet done our cornerback and safety preview yet, but a couple of corners that he mentioned that I was unfamiliar with, and one of those was Fletcher Marshall, and the other was Siobhan Ravel, who are listed behind Demel Hickman in Phil Steele's unofficial depth chart, and that got me thinking that we're gonna probably see a lot of different corners this year. No McMillan on the field for every play. You hope Malik Fleming can step up and be there every day, every game, every play, and go against the top receivers on the other side. But I think we're going to see a lot of different guys in that secondary this year. Tegan Wilk and Julius Wood have some experience at the safety position, so maybe not as far as safety, but I think corner we could see a lot of different names, Chandler, and maybe a new guy to step up this year.
Yeah, the corner, when he got to the corner position, that's where I kind of stumbled on, all right, who is that? But, you're looking at somebody to take Jaquan McMillan's place and step up. And is it Malik Fleming? And he definitely, like Coach said, has the experience in that room. But it seems like there's a lot of other guys that can kind of get in the mix and make an impact in as well. And, depth is always a key part to a program. And it looks like not just the defensive line and offensive line, looks like he's got some in the cornerback room as well.
Mike P. said, Clip Chandler, thanks for wearing a nice collar shirt to interview Coach Houston today. Unlike Stephen Igo did on the Zoom yesterday in a T-shirt and couch.
Oh, by the way, Mike P., great joke on Twitter yesterday. Stephen Igo, more like Stephen, I guess I'm going to take this from the laundry basket.
Mike P., always good at the lame jokes that I enjoy. So thank you. We appreciate that, Mike. But great chat with Coach Houston.
I'm pumped.
You want to change any of your top 10 most important players after that conversation?
I don't know.
Did he say anything?
Now I feel like we should bump it up to 20.
Now we need more.
Yeah.
We need more. But, he's fired up, ready to go, really likes his team, said. And you want the coach to say this, and you probably have every coach in the country saying this, but I believe it when Mike Houston says it. He thinks he can win any game on the schedule this year.
Absolutely.
When I asked how they stacked up with the American, he also acknowledged that it is a tough league, as Cy Seymour would say, and a tough schedule when you factor in the Wolfpack and BYU out of the non-conference slate that are going to be preseason top 25 teams.
You were on Twitter last night and got into a Twitter space with Brandon Walker with Barstool Sports. Brandon Walker knowing a lot of college football. You asked him, who is the Cincinnati of this year? Who is going to be that non-Power 5 team that could run the table? And his answer was the Cougars of BYU.
BYU was his answer. Thanks. The schedule shapes up for him, and also they have a really good football team. So by the time we get to late October, that could be a very important game for ECU bowl game-wise. It could be a very important game for BYU. We'll see, but a very important game national landscape-wise for them to maybe remain undefeated, maybe be a top 10 team. We shall see. A lot of football to be played between now and then. All right, so once again, Steve Shankweiler joining us at 5 o'clock. We'll do a deep dive into the offensive line group, which Mike Houston says that Justin Redd is one of those guys he really likes to come in the locker room, be a leader immediately. I think we're going to see a couple of newcomers, maybe Chandler, get the start on the offensive line week 1 against NC State. We'll talk more about it with Coach Shank, but they have bolstered the O-line position through the transfer portal this offseason.
Absolutely, and that's exactly – you got Parker Moore. Obviously, you got Justin Redd that Coach Houston alluded to. And going to the defensive side of the ball, a guy that we talked about in the interview with Coach Houston, Chandre Mims. I'm really excited about the impact he's going to make on the defensive line there. He caused a lot of havoc against the Pirates last year when Charleston Southern came to town. But, yeah, a lot of guys that he mentioned, a lot of new guys that are going to make immediate impacts, and hopefully that is going to be good for the Pirates.
Another nugget that we did not have before this conversation is Tyler Savage moving from receiver to the inside. Mm-hmm. Sounds like he's going to be a part of that tight end room. Listed Tyler Savage, 6'3", 235, and says that he could be filling in for Ryan Jones when he leaves East Carolina. So he continues to build up that tight end room. Mike P. says he likes hearing about that, about Savage, and says makes me think there could be some 3 tight end sets to help with ball control this year. You can also play action out of those and hit those weapons at tight end for passes over the top. So a lot of options with this team. It does make you think, too, man, you've got so many guys now, and you want to get Keaton his touches, Rajay his touches, but he said Isaiah Winstead could be a true number 1 all-conference receiver. We know we got in C.J. Johnson, and it didn't mention it much on the air there, but we talked to him off the air. C.J. in good standing right now with the Pirate football team, ready to go at the wide receiver position. Ryan Jones is your leading receiver returning for East Carolina with the absence of Omatosho and Snead. So a lot of mouths to feed. Veteran quarterback should lead into a really good offensive season for these East Carolina Pirates.
But just like Coach said, there's one football. So there's a lot of options there for East Carolina.
A lot of people don't understand that, Chandler.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand. Look, there's people I talk to, Clip, that don't understand it.
They think there's like 2 footballs, 3 footballs. No, there's 1 football.
There's 1 football.
I like to call it the pigskin.
Haven't heard it called that in a while.
Well, I've created that myself, the pigskin.
But we're talking about a lot of options in a lot of different position groups for East Carolina. And when you talk about tight end, you go back about 3 or 4 years where there was hardly any. Maybe I think he said that there was 1 tight end when he got here and took the job at East Carolina. Now you've got options there. You've got options in the wide receiver room. You got depth of the offensive line. You got depth of the defensive line. We're learning new names in the cornerback in the secondary group now, and so it's just great to hear, and hopefully a lot of those guys can come in for ECU this season and make it an awesome impact.
Who's doing the quote tweeting for Pirate Radio? Is that you, CJ? I mean, Mike Houston, he's going to lose all credibility if you put that Cowboys tweet out there. Quote, the Cowboys have to be one of the early picks to win the Super Bowl this year. I mean, Mike Houston said a lot of very informative, level-headed things today, and then that is not one of those things.
But it will get looks.
It'll get looks.
This is why the media always talks about the Cowboys. It gets clicks.
Taking them out of context.
This is fully in context. That might be the worst part.
So, again, a lot of great information with Coach Houston, but him saying the Cowboys have to be one of the early picks to win the Super Bowl this year, not one of the brightest things he said today.
Not very high on your Commanders either.
Nah, that's fine.
Rightfully so. I don't think a lot of Cowboys fans are going to be saying anything nice about it.
Keep sleeping. I'm about to go LeBron on y'all.
All right.
Please, and I pray, keep that same energy.
Are you going to delete it when the Commanders miss the playoffs too?
Did LeBron delete his tweet?
Mm-hmm.
No, he didn't.
It's gone.
That guy. What a phony. Speaking of LeBron being a phony, I got a book in the mail today.
You on page 1?
I am. I'm going to crack it open on page 1. I got Freezing Cold Takes NFL, Football Media's Most Inaccurate Predictions and the Fascinating Stories Behind Them by Fred Segal. He is the...
I love that Twitter account.
He is the Freezing Cold Takes guy.
Is that a real book?
It's a real book, and he is going to join us on Pirate Radio sometime in August to get the man behind the Freezing Cold Takes account.
That'll be awesome.
So I've been chatting with him. Actually, he is a Miami guy, and I told him I'm with Pirate Radio, Greenville, North Carolina, and he said, I was at the game in Miami when Marcus Crandall torched us, and then we also talked about the 99 game, and I said, yeah, I was at that one when the Pirates had the massive comeback led by David Garrard, Keith Stokes and company. Jamie Wilson had a good game, Conley guy. So we talked a little ECU Miami. So that'll be a weird interview we have in August. I don't know what exactly we're going to talk about, but it'll be fun to talk to the Freezing Cold Takes guy.
You can definitely go back in time and talk some ECU Miami.
And what's we'll also have to think of our worst take of all time in sports. Like, I mean, I've had a bunch of them.
I know it right now.
You got one for you?
Yes.
I've got one that I've shared with you.
Do you want to go first?
Are we doing it right now?
Let's take a break. Okay. We need to get a break in. We'll come back. We'll wrap up hour number 1. We'll talk about some all we've had. Hour 2, Tony Dunn. Also, C.W. Sloan going to join us, talk some fantasy football. Training camp is here. We are football heavy on a Football Friday edition of Pirate Radio Live. More to go after this.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Kyle Gaines from Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Not only will you feature a great selection of pre-owned inventory for sale, but we'll also buy your vehicle even if you don't buy one from us. Drive a little, save a lot. Give us a call and make a short trip to Washington and let us buy your vehicle today. It is totally worth it. We also service all makes and models at our state-of-the-art service department. Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram between Greenville and Washington, and WashingtonChryslerDodgeJeepRam.com. Remember, drive a little, save a lot. Go Pirates.
Welcome to US Cellular, where new and current customers choose any phone they want for free.
Free? Even the one with 5G and lots of storage?
Free.
And the one with the latest everything?
Free.
At U.S. Cellular, any phone you see is free, whether you're a new or current customer. U.S. Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. Terms apply. See uscellular.com for details.
We all love using Uber Eats, DoorDash, and grocery pickup. It makes life so much easier. Well, now there is cellular delivery, and the team at Cellular Warehouse has perfected the process. They will deliver your new phone right to your door with all your information loaded on the new phone. And the best thing is there is no charge for this awesome service. And you don't have to waste half the day sitting in a cellular store. Call Toby Williams today at 252-799-7051 and let his team of experts make your cellular delivery today. Cellular Warehouse, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent, serving all of Eastern North Carolina.
You've worked hard to make your business successful, and that's why it's really important to always have a bank that's in your corner when you need them. This is Chris Richards from First Bank, and our experienced team of local bankers includes Lee Watson, Ashley Capps, Bonner Latham, Josh Hooten, and Heath Nisbet. To get the business services that are right for your business, come and see one of our experienced team members at First Bank on Arlington Boulevard in Greenville. First Bank, together with our customers, we're creating a world where individuals and communities thrive. Member FDIC.
This is Talbot Green with Angel Oak Home Loans. If you're looking to purchase a home, it is still a great time, and being pre-qualified before you begin shopping is an advantage. At Angel Oak, we offer a wide variety of programs ranging from conventional, government, and portfolio loans that can fit most financial situations. To get started, contact our experienced team of Talbot Green, Braxton Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren's Hot Dog Pizza, homemade lemonade.
Hey, Pirate Nation, Warren's now has 2 locations, in Greenville across from Ron Ayers Motorsports and the Chocowinity location next to the fire department. Stop in today for hot dogs, pizza, subs, apple and peach turnovers, homemade lemonade, and breakfast in Chocowinity featuring homemade cheese, ham and chicken biscuits, plus sausage dogs and more. Warren's Hot Dogs. Want some? Get some. Go Pirates.
It's bow time. If you look closely at a big, bold Bo's chicken sandwich, you'll see it's only made one way, the right way. Marinated, then hand-breaded with bold southern seasoning before being topped with not 1, but 2 juicy pickles, creamy mayo, and a toasted bun. Ooh-wee. But don't look too close, or you'll just end up eating it, and we wouldn't blame you. Because, well, it is a sandwich after all. A show-stopping southern specialty that can only be the Bo's chicken sandwich. It's bow time.
Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in Eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro. We are the professional office systems people.
Pirate Radio.
You know, I think this is a pretty blue-collar, tough, hard-nosed fan base, and that's where our teams are going to be.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. Do you need custom t-shirts, apparel, or promotional items for your business, organization, or event? Keep it local. Print it local with University Sportswear. Contact them today at universitysportswearenc.com. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Vacation spots are right here in our very own backyard. You can take a trip to a state park and enjoy traditional camping, RV space, and also air-conditioned cabins that can be rented with Wi-Fi. If you're by a lake, be sure to check out the opportunities to rent a canoe or a kayak and get out on the water. Your next adventure is right around the corner. For more information, please visit ncstateparks.gov. Now let's head back in to PRL. Here's Clip.
Already back with you, Pirate Radio Live. I think Shirley has probably seen this because she's very in tune with what's going on social media. CJ probably knows this because he's in tune with what's going on with wrestling. So I'm going to ask Chandler, who sometimes is like out of pocket when it comes to this stuff. What 8-time NBA All-Star was at WWE tryouts this week?
8-time WWE All-Star.
8-time NBA All-Star.
NBA All-Star?
WWE doesn't have an All-Star team, although it should.
That would be cool.
Every year, make an All-Star team. He hasn't seen this. Shirley, have you seen this on social media?
I believe so. I'm not sure if I got the name right, but I know I saw it.
All right. Well, Chandler is stumped.
Not Dwight Howard, is it?
Shirley, who do you think it is?
I do believe it's Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard. Did you just guess that out of the blue?
That was a guess.
That was impressive. Way to go. Dwight Howard. So, CJ, have you looked into this? I just saw a video of him cutting a promo.
Yeah.
Is he, like, really trying to do this?
Yes, and I guess because I saw him with a quote that said he's wanted to have a stint in WWE for a while, but it's also a little confusing because most celebrities, if they want to do something with WWE, especially somebody at his level, you don't have to try out. They just let you.
Does he not know that?
I don't know. Logan Paul is wrestling tomorrow. If he can do it, Dwight Howard can do it.
And Dwight Howard is in phenomenal shape compared to regular Americans. And he is 36, which is old for basketball, but not that old for WWE, right?
Right.
So, I mean, if he wants to do this, I think he still wants to play basketball, though, right? So he could have like a post-basketball career for a few years if he wants to.
He could have a Dennis Rodman experience and do both at the same time.
Yeah. This seems like he wants to be more serious about it and like be a regular almost. I don't know, but I found that interesting. Good guess, Chandler. You were correct. All right, let's talk about bad takes. Once again, I'm going to have the freezing cold takes guy on Pirate Radio Live. For people that don't know, that's an account on Twitter. Is it on other places? I just see it on Twitter.
I think Instagram too.
But he takes like your Colin Cowherds, basically anybody who is verified that has a demonstrative prediction and really kind of goes overboard with it. Like, there's no way that Jamarcus Russell won't work out at quarterback in the NFL. 100%, take it to the bank. And he'll, like, just retweet that. That's his job, to put out the bad takes from people. So we're going to have him on the show. So, Chandler, CJ, y'all said y'all remembered some bad takes that you've had in the past. What came to mind for you guys?
I said when Sam Darnold was a free agent, I said I wanted him to come to Pittsburgh because we would make him become a great quarterback. And then he went to the Panthers.
Technically, maybe he could have in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I
don't think so.
Yeah, I said, I don't know how strong I was about it, but I did say that a fresh start for Sam Darnold could be a good thing for Carolina. Clearly, it didn't work out that way. Chandler, what was your bad take?
I think I've said this on the air before, but my freshman year in college was 2016, the first year of coach.
Oh, I know where you're going, yeah.
And went to the first game against Western Carolina, a blowout by the Pirates, 56-0. They beat the Catamounts. Next week, it was a hot day in Greenville, ECU versus NC State. And as everyone remembers, ECU wins that game. Coach Mo's running around the field like a madman with the crossbones up. I gathered some buddies that next Monday. I gathered them up. I said, we're going to go to the coach's show at Logan's. So we go, and during one of the breaks, I go up to Coach Scotty Montgomery. You know what I tell him? I said, Coach, I said, you've brought a swagger, some sort of swagger and confidence to this football program, and you're taking it in the right direction.
And then what happened almost every game after that?
Loss. No swagger, no confidence.
Oh, man.
And in the wrong direction.
But a young Chandler Honeycutt was fired up.
Fired up.
What did he say to you?
Thank you, man. And I appreciate the students coming out here from a student standpoint.
So y'all really had a good bond there for a second.
Just a split second.
And now it's, look, these relationships are fleeting. Enjoy them while they're here. We're enjoying our relationship currently with Mike Houston. If you missed that chat, you can actually go back and check it out now on YouTube, because you can rewind live YouTube. So check that out. Great roster breakdown from Mike Houston earlier on Pirate Radio Live. We'll talk to Steve Shankweiler coming up at 5 o'clock. But next, we will talk NFL. Training camps are here. I don't know if this is going to be a take, but I'm going to tell Tony the team I'm falling in love with. Talked about it on the air yesterday. Talk more about that. We'll talk some fantasy football as well with C.W. Sloan. NFL Hour on tap. Don't forget hour 3, we're giving away Freedom. We're giving away Budweisers. We'll do that as well. Big Football Friday edition of Pirate Radio Live rolls on after this.
Do you need custom t-shirts, apparel, or promotional items for your business, organization, or event? Keep it local. Print it local with University Sportswear. University Sportswear ENC.com is your one-stop shop for all promotional products for your business. With over 1 million items to shop from, University Sportswear ENC.com offers high-quality products at prices to fit any budget. Visit University Sportswear ENC.com for contact information and to get shopping. University Sportswear ENC.com, the official sportswear provider of Pirate Radio.
Do you want to get rid of wrinkles, tighten and lift your skin, smooth your skin texture, erase veins and brown spots, and get rid of unwanted hair? Are you interested in Botox or filler? Contact the licensed professionals at Beauty Bar Medispa on Red Banks Road in Greenville. Free consultations available. Visit us at beautybarmedispa.com. Also follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Enjoy your visit. Love your transformation. Go Pirates!
I can't think of anyone who doesn't love a clean car, but how often do you actually go to the car wash? Does it take too long, or maybe it's just not a very nice place? Tommy's Express changes everything. Our wash is bright, inviting, clean, and fast.
I love the flat conveyor belt. So easy to pull onto, much smoother ride, and safer for my car.
And when you join Tommy Club, you can wash as often as you like for one low monthly price.
I save money and time.
We're Tommy's Express.
At the corner of Greenville Boulevard and Red Banks Road, Greenville.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville. Do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best. Everybody loves burgers.
This is Dr. Chris Barsani from Orthopedic Season Sports Medicine Center. Our practice has been caring for the athletes at ECU and the residents of Eastern North Carolina for more than 35 years. Whether it's treatment for your sports injuries or it's time for that joint replacement, Orthopedic Seats provides the latest in operative and non-operative orthopedic care. We also offer on-site physical therapy and MRI services as well as walk-in urgent care on the weekends from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call us at 757-BONE or visit us online at orthoeast.com. Go Pirates.
Hey Pirates, this is Holt Nailers. A big part of my success on the field is what I eat at home. To keep my body filled up, I order meals off a Clean Eats meal plan. I choose the meals I want from 6 different meals offered each week, and I pick them up on Sunday or Monday at the cafe on Red Banks Road. Each meal is packed with the perfect mix of healthy proteins, carbs, and veggies to keep my engine running at full speed. Go to cleaneats.com, click on meal plans, or stop by the cafe and get all the info. Clean Eats and the Pirates, a winning combination.
I'm Michael Vaughn with East Coast Grading and Utilities. Many of you know my dad, David Vaughn, and his work in putting in subdivisions all over Pirate Nation. But East Coast Grading and Utilities is not just for those type of big jobs. We're here for the homeowners. Whether it's concrete, driveways, hauling rock, or sand, whatever you need, East Coast Grading and Utilities can get the job done. Call us at 252-531-7494 or check us out on Facebook at East Coast Grading and Utilities.
When I need jeans, I order online because I know exactly what I want. They have just one moving part, and if there's something wrong, I exchange them. Buying a vehicle, especially pre-owned, is way different. Lots of moving parts. You don't want to get stuck. For a worry-free purchase, visit Phelps Chevrolet. We've been here in town a very long time. You know us. You know we stand behind everything we sell. Phelps Chevrolet in Greenville. Come get you one.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by Country Mart. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations, in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food and your engines with great gasoline. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. The Sidebar in Uptown Greenville is open and ready to serve you. The Tex-Mex Fusion Restaurant offers dinner and Sunday brunch from 10:30 to 2:30. Located right next door to the Dickinson Avenue Public House, the Sidebar has indoor dining and patio seating for everyone to enjoy. For the latest on reservations, menu items, and more, follow the Sidebar on Facebook or on Instagram at sidebar.greenville. Now let's head back in to PRL. Here is your host, Clip Brock.
Back with you, Pirate Radio Live. Why does Kawhi Leonard laugh like a maniac?
The best part about it is his face.
It sounds like one of those.
That's a laugh?
That's a laugh. You know what it sounds like? You know those squeaky pig toys?
Yeah, like for a dog toy or something.
Like a dog toy, but it's a pig snorting or squealing or whatever. That's what it sounds like.
Isn't there another famous Kawhi laugh sound, though? Yeah.
Like he's the only person that doesn't smile when he laughs.
There's one video of him laughing. It looks like
frowning.
a puppet. He's like,
he's like the emotionless person.
There it is on there.
I watch Westworld, and if there is...
Has it gotten better?
Season 4 has been a little bit of a return to the roots.
Okay.
I stopped watching season 3.
Didn't even get through it?
Nah, and I just picked it back up season 4 to give it another chance. And but if there are androids walking the earth, like there are in
Kawhi Leonard's one of them.
Kawhi Leonard is my number one suspect. He just does not have normal human interactions and emotions. So anyway, let's get to Tony. We'll talk Panthers in a moment with you. And NFL news and notes. But let's head out to the Pirate Radio Live line, talk some fantasy football. C.W. Sloan joins us. C-Dubs, what's up, man?
How's it going, guys? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I'm pumped. We had Mike Houston on earlier. We got these training camp videos, which, by the way, we'll talk about later. What matters in training camp? And I'll tell you that none of it does, except one thing for me. But let's dive into some fantasy talk. And today... we are talking AFC North and AFC South. Is that right, CW? Yeah, I got that right. And how about this? We're going to start with the Super Bowl runners-up, the Cincinnati Bengals, because there are a lot of guys you will be drafting from the Bengals this year. First off the board is Chase or Mixon? Probably Chase for you, right, CW?
Yeah, Jamar Chase right now is carrying an ADP of 8. I'm actually early in the draft process in July, late June. He was actually in the top 5, and he dropped down just a hair to 8, which I think is about right. He definitely came onto the scene last year, had some incredible, huge games, and then there were some spotty games where you didn't really see much of him. So he's going to have to command a lot more consistency if you're not playing best ball and you're playing a season-long league, but he definitely is a top 10 player right now in fantasy in the ADP at this point.
Joe Mixon, frustrating for me. I had him a couple years, didn't work out. I think I didn't have him his best year. Where is he going among running backs right now?
Joe Mixon has an ADP of 12.5, so you're really looking at him as, okay, do I want to end the first round with him in a 12-man and begin my second round with him, or do I want to pass and take a couple of those other running backs or maybe a receiver that fell out of there? I'm okay with taking a second rounder on Mixon. I don't know that I'm going to burn a first rounder on him based on the talent that I see in the first round, but it wouldn't hurt. I certainly wouldn't tell somebody they shouldn't do that at the end of the first round, but I think the safest play for me for Joe Mixon is taking your second round pick, early second round pick, late first round pick.
Is Nick Chubb going ahead of Joe Mixon in PPR leagues?
Absolutely not. In fact, I think because of all the noise that's coming out of Cleveland right now, and I had a couple pieces of information while I'm up here in Ohio right now. Nick Chubb is going somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 to 27, and I know that doesn't sound like like where it maybe should because Chubb has been so productive, but I think a lot of the injuries that he's sustained and the flux of what Cleveland's going to look like with Brissett at the helm, if that's the case, which looks like it most likely will be for at least a good portion of the season, if not all. I do see Chubb as a late second, early third-round pick, but his age is certainly still at 27.
That does sound odd, but makes sense when you talk about it. How about T. Higgins? Where is he ranked amongst wide receivers?
And T. Higgins is right there after Chubb at 28 as his ADP.
Wow.
And quite frankly, I actually think that's a little high for him.
It's two Bengals receivers in the top 30 does seem high.
Yeah, T. Higgins is actually the first receiver to go second in an offense in the NFL right now in the ADP. He's the next one of a legitimate offense. And it's not that I'm completely down on Cincinnati. I just think that they hit their ceiling a lot faster than we expected going to the Super Bowl last year. But, you know, when you look back at the season that they had, they did not blow out the fantasy doors. They just simply made a run at the end of the season. So I think we have to curtail our Cincinnati Bengal hope a little bit in the fantasy world. Now, I do think they're all going to be good players, but I do think with the run that they made last year, probably put them a little higher in some of the ADPs than what we maybe ultimately really think they're going to end up doing when the season's over.
Going back to Jamar Chase, CW, is there any concern about the sophomore slump, like last year's numbers being so fantastic that, you know, kind of a regression to a mean? And I won't say overpay for him, but can you get much better than what you got last year, or does that not matter because last year was great enough that even less would be fantastic anyway?
Great point about the fact that you said doesn't really matter because he did so well last year. I think that's a good assessment. And I've said this on the show probably almost every time that I come up here when we talk about first rounders. When you look at the ADP of the top 12 to 15 players in the league right now that pretty much everybody's discussing, I don't think, you know, barring taking somebody other than maybe Cooper Kupp or Jonathan Taylor 1 or 2 at the top of the league, all of these guys are first-round guys for fantasy football. And, you know, if we're talking about taking Jamar Chase or Derrick Henry, I don't think that's something that everybody should, you know, raise an eyebrow about because these guys are not really going to be the guys that win you your league. It's you passing up on all of these guys to take a complete risk in the first round or early second to where you can lose your league. So Jamar Chase is a first-round guy. If you're picking 10 or 4 or 7 or 8 and you take him, I don't think you're going to win or lose your league because you did that. I think if you pass up on a lot of these guys and you really want to reach for somebody who a lot of people are not talking about, or you take, you know, somebody else in that top 3 range that pretty much everybody has decided that these are the guys that are probably going to, you know, be your best interest in taking, then I think you're going to get into some trouble. But Jamar Chase is a first-round guy. Whether or not he ends up being the number 1, number 2, number 3, or even number 7 receiver at the end of the day, I still think he's a safe play.
All right, we'll wrap it up. we gotta move along. Let's take your pick. Tony, 2022, do you want Joe Burrow or Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, appendix surgery. Guys,
look,
does that matter?
I'm an appendix surgery survivor. Yeah, I'm still here.
Could you walk the next day?
I could not.
I guess I guess I'd take Joe Burrow because of the question marks with the receiving core in Green Bay.
How about Chandler, Joe Burrow, or Matthew Stafford?
I'll probably go Joe Burrow.
CW, Joe Burrow or Dak?
Burrow.
Joe Burrow or Russell Wilson?
I would take either there. I think both of them are going to be right next to each other. I think there's not a whole lot of difference, but if twisted my arm on it, I probably would go Burrow there.
Burrow or Brady?
Brady.
All right.
Wow.
We might have hit
Homer. We might hit the Homer button. No, I'm just kidding.
Burrow or Hurts?
Why did I hit the Homer button there? I'm curious.
Burrow or Hurts? No, we got to move on.
All right, Hurts.
All right, so we found CW has Burrow around 8th, and you guys have him in a similar spot, it sounds like, 8 to 10. All right, Hayden Hurst, I didn't know he was on the Bengals. Is he worth a tight end flyer?
No, not at all.
All right. Tyler Boyd, no?
12th rounder.
All right, let's move on to the Ravens. Rashad Bateman. Is he the receiver you want?
he's going to be the only receiver that you're taking in this on this team, and he's looking somewhere around a late fifth round selection. He is going to be the number one target. Somebody's got to throw the ball to somebody for Baltimore.
Well, and Mark Andrews obviously is the guy you want. Yeah. But as far as receivers go, Bateman, I love, by the way, remember him, Chandler? James Prochet, SMU?
Yes, sir.
That dude's a baller. We'll see if he can do something in the NFL. What do you do about the running backs here? Dobbins, he's coming off an injury, right?
Yeah, he's coming off a severe injury, and he swears up and down, I guess you're following Twitter, that he's going to be ready for week 1. And there's a good chance that he may be taking off the pup. The pup right now is one of those preseason things that you don't really get too concerned with, but because of his recent injury history, it is a concern for Dobbins. And I'm not taking him as rich where he's going. He's going at pick around 50, 52. That's just a little too steep for me. But he is somebody you could certainly draft if you already have 2 running backs and you want to put him in the flex.
Tony, Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow?
Joe Burrow.
Wow.
I don't think I think the allure of rushing yards is too much sometimes for quarterbacks.
Were you that defensive coordinator anonymously that talked about Lamar Jackson this week?
I don't know how the Ravens offense is going to be explosive in the passing game, given that they don't really have anybody out there.
It is a weird looking offense there so their receivers are Bateman, Duvernay, Prochet. I don't know, man.
I mean, maybe he'll have that 5 touchdown a week game like he had 2 years ago or whatever. Maybe it's kind of like a Cam in 2015, is that since there are nobodies, Lamar's got to be the guy that, puts it on his shoulder and his legs every week.
And we already have Mark Andrews high, but after this conversation, Mark Andrews just went up even higher in my book, CW.
Yeah, he's at pick 19 and deservingly so. He was the number 1 tight end last year. Travis Kelce's been the number 1 tight end 5 of the last 6 years, and the fact that you took him off his pedestal there, that says a lot. And they're going to throw to him probably more than they did last year. So Mark Andrews, clearly a good pick at 19 for this.
Will Gus Edwards be a week 7 pickup to win you a week this year?
Yeah, I can see that. And you really don't want to draft him because you don't really know what he's going to do coming back. I mean, this backfield is really difficult to gauge based on the ADP. I'm probably staying away, but there are some shots you can take with Baltimore, and you could hit a home run with them. Lamar Jackson, you mentioned, great point about he could have 4 touchdowns one week and then nothing the next. So he's what we would call a good best ball quarterback. Just make sure you pair him with someone else.
I'll tell you who else is receiving core I do not like: the Cleveland Browns. Amari Cooper, often injured. Donovan Peoples-Jones. I don't know who David Bell is. I thought he was a baseball player. How about the receivers in Cleveland? I guess you want Cooper first, but when do you take Amari Cooper?
He's going to ADP 54 once again. This is another division, another group of players that they just seem to be going a little higher than what the expectation is. And think about Amari Cooper's position right now. You're talking about Jacoby Brissett more than likely starting the season, and then what are we going to do with Deshaun Watson? He's going to start. Let's say he comes back week 11 or week 10. Now you got another quarterback that you have to adjust to. So I don't really like what Cleveland's doing other than with the running game and Nick Chubb. But right now, 54 is a little too high for me for Amari Cooper's ADP.
Have we still not heard the results of the Watson stuff?
Nope.
Good God.
No, we have not. We have not.
Ridiculous.
We've talked about Chubb and Hunt in the past. How about David Njoku? Is he a tight end you'd want in a 12-team league?
Yeah, last couple rounds. He's definitely worth a flyer, but not much more than that. He's going at pick 154. So you're looking at taking him in one of the last rounds, but certainly not somebody you're targeting.
All right, let's move on to the Steelers. Deontay Johnson had better numbers last year than I thought. I guess he was not much on my radar, but you got Johnson, Claypool. Oh, they drafted Pickens. Was he Georgia? You got him on the roster? Is that right? Yeah. So how about these receivers? I guess Johnson's one, right?
Yeah, Johnson's going to ADP 38 right now in his average draft position, and I'm okay with that because I know the production that he has done in the past. I do worry a little bit about what the quarterback position is going to look like, and I also worry a tad bit about the fact that this is what Pittsburgh's done in the past with their players on their last year of their contract. He's trying to command the same amount of money that Terry McLaurin wants, and I don't know that he's going to get it from Pittsburgh. So you could see a little bit of a stalemate in there. Right now, I think he's not doing a holding out, as they say in camp, but a holding in, which means he's showing up in camp every day. He's just not doing anything. And so that just doesn't bode well for me when you're talking about a Pittsburgh Steeler on the last year of his deal. So I'm not really doing a lot of targeting to Deontay Johnson at 638. I would rather wait and take George Pickens at 183.
CJ Schaefer, a Steelers fan, also shows up but doesn't do anything. So, CJ, you can relate to this. What do you think about Johnson? And how about the receiving core as a whole? What do you expect it to look like this year?
I share the same feelings about Deontay Johnson. The Steelers have shown in recent years, most recently by letting Juju Smith-Schuster walk, that they don't have a problem losing veteran wide receivers, and would rather instead draft one like they did with George Pickens. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if Deontay Johnson isn't here after this year.
CW, I am a sucker for volume, and I feel like Najee Harris is going to get a lot of touches this year, a lot of catches. Where do you take Harris in drafts?
Easy. First round, into the first round, 100%. If you have anywhere from the 7th to 12th pick and he's there, you got to be thinking about him. At the end of the first round, you're definitely taking him. But you don't get out of the first round without Najee Harris and the volume that he's going to command the season.
All right, that's it for the AFC North. Let's quickly move on to the South, and we should be able to zoom through this. The Colts have some guys you want. Jonathan Taylor is your number one overall, right?
Correct.
All right. At receiver, Michael Pittman you want. Do you take any shots at Paris Campbell or anybody else at receiver for the Colts?
No, I'm not taking Paris Campbell. I'm not taking any of the receivers that they have. If you want to, handcuff Nyheim Hines at 129 with another player, he's not really the type of handcuff you would handcuff with Jonathan Taylor, because if Taylor goes down, you're not getting the same production, maybe like you would if you had Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. But Nyheim Hines is going to be in an only PPR league, somebody you might take a flyer on in the 13th round. But other than that, you're not really touching anybody for Indianapolis. Matt Ryan has an ADP of 162. I see them doing all of their offense around Jonathan Taylor. I don't see them doing as much of the passing game, so I'm staying away from anybody other than Taylor.
Why is everybody so down on Matt Ryan? Completely just giving up on him as
I'm not down on him. As far as fantasy goes, I don't know if he's cracking the top 12.
You're not going to have him as your starter. If you want him as a backup, you're talking about a guy who's been around the league a long time. He's played with Atlanta his whole career, and he's really going there to make sure he manages this team to get into the playoffs. He's not going to throw for 4,000 yards and 28 touchdowns. That offense is going to be geared around Jonathan Taylor and the defense as well. So it's not that you're down on him. It's just the position that he's in and what he's really asking to do for the Indianapolis Colts. And remember, Carson Wentz was actually he was a good player. He could throw the ball down the field. But the problem is they couldn't trust him inside the 20. And that's when they decided to go, let's find somebody that we do not want to turn the ball over. Give the ball to Jonathan Taylor so we can make a run.
All right, let's go Titans. Tony, how do you feel about draft? Where would you draft Derrick Henry this year?
Top 10, top 5.
Okay,
I'm not scared of it.
That was what I was getting to.
I'm to the point where I'm giving up on this overthinking things. Is that right now?
I can't do that. I got to get in your mindset.
Yeah,
I'm an overthinker.
I've tried to go PPR, whatever. It's like Derrick Henry is, even last year missing games, still had a productive year, at least from the outside looking in. I saw this as J.C. Horn is on the PUP list for the Carolina Panthers to start with soreness in his foot. Derrick Henry broke his foot in the last 5 weeks of the season, came back for the playoffs, and on the first day of training camp, he's racing his daughter. I mean, now she's only a 4-year-old, but still, I don't know. I mean, do we overthink it? I don't think so. Is that if I need a running back, if I decide to go, I think the question more is do you take a wide receiver or him?
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
What do you do, CW, with Derrick Henry?
I'm okay with taking him in the first round. I do understand anybody who cautions with him, and like I said, going back to my to what I always like to say about the first round, that is a player because of his injury history in the past that you could lose your fantasy league with because of his injury, just like Christian McCaffrey. So for me, He's going to have to fall to the late first round for me to take him, only because I know I'm going to get an early second round. I'd rather take somebody without an injury history and with somebody who's got a good offense around them who is safe. I don't care to have
who is that
player. Well, we named a bunch of players there. We talked about Cooper Kupp. We talked about Jamar Chase. We talked about Justin Jefferson.
All receivers.
Right now.
Is there a running back other and
Jonathan Taylor would be his name?
And man, it's the flavor of the week in that way. Is that you guys acted like I was an idiot with Jonathan Taylor? Like, oh, he's sharing all the carries. He helped me 2 years ago when I won the fantasy league, I think.
Ain't nobody. Why you're playing the victim a lot today, Tony? Why does everybody hate Matt Ryan? Y'all were calling me an idiot.
No, I just am curious where everybody thought Matt Ryan is done.
We also need to stop on draft day saying good pick, bad pick, because we don't know. But we do it every year. Oh, that was a good pick.
No, how about this? Are there any running backs in the first round other than Jonathan Taylor that do not have the concerns
That's
that
a good
you
question.
brought up with Derrick Henry?
Safest running back other than Taylor.
And I'm not trying to be a controversial. It's just I'm really
That's a
asking.
good question. Who's the safest running back other than Taylor? In the
Okay, so if I rank the safest players, I would say Jonathan Taylor 1, Austin Eckler 2, Najee Harris 3, Joe Mixon 4.
You're naming a lot of pass catchers there too.
Yeah,
if you take Joe, man, that's sad. Imagine taking Joe Mixon ahead.
Well, he's saying.
I know. I'm not saying you, but just imagine.
But Mixon is a safer player, but could Derrick Henry completely, beat him by 60 fantasy points? Of course he could.
Well, Tony, you're going to end up with Derrick Henry, and you're going to be happy about it.
Maybe.
So there you go. All right,
or he'll get hurt and ruin my whole league like Saquon did last year.
Not safe.
Not safe.
I love Traylon Burks from Arkansas. I wanted Washington to draft him, but is Robert Woods? Where is he going in drafts? He's the new Titans receiver.
Yeah, they're both going actually within 4 spots of each other. Traylon Burks is going at 99 and Robert Woods at 103. So I think it's just the idea of what that offense is going to look like without A.J. Brown. And, it's a great question to have. I'm not sure that I'm going to take either one of them. If I had to take one, I probably would take the upside of Burks because I don't really know what that upside is going to be. Well, I kind of feel like I know what the ceiling is for Robert Woods, especially being on a new team and coming off an injury. So Traylon Burks is intriguing.
All right. Are you drafting any Jaguars?
I have a good question about this. Also, I want to know your thoughts on Etienne, too.
Etienne right now is obviously the number one player for the Jacksonville Jaguars in fantasy. He's going at pick 46. So you're probably looking at the end of the third round with him. He is an enigma because he didn't play it down last year with his injury, but what you see out of him, what you saw out of college, was a guy who could run and catch the ball. And so in the NFL, that speaks volumes. James Robinson is still he's actually coming back. A lot of people are talking very highly of him now. He reported and is actually playing pretty well in camp. So that has dropped Etienne's spots by about 3 or 4 spots since James Robinson came back. Etienne is still going to be a 4th-round pick, I think, pretty much all the way through our fantasy drafts. And he's an intriguing player. I do like him. But other than Etienne, I'm not sure I'm taking anybody else. Christian Kirk is a 73 ADP. I think I'm going to stay away from him in terms of what he does for Jacksonville. And if you wanted to take Robinson with Etienne, I'm okay with that. Etienne's about the only Jacksonville Jaguar that I'm targeting.
What about Clip and I's favorite player?
Marvin Jones?
Marvin Jones. He's like a consistent number 4 receiver to have on your fantasy team.
I love Marvin
Jones.
He
just puts up 80 yards and a touchdown every other game.
He's practically going for free right now. You could basically get him in the last 2 rounds.
Clip and I will fight over him.
Yeah, I'm going to trade up to get him. Tony, just a note for you. The backup tight ends for Jacksonville are Dan Arnold and Chris Manhertz.
Yes, both former and is Trevor Lawrence got any value?
Trevor Lawrence does, and I definitely would love having him as my backup quarterback. His ADP right now is around 156. Just don't take him too early. I definitely wouldn't want to have him as my weekly starter, especially with not knowing what the offense is going to look like, even though I do have a lot of faith in Peterson. But no, I wouldn't have him as my starter, even if I'm waiting. I think I would try to take a quarterback before Lawrence and pair him up with somebody.
All right, Tony, can you name any Houston Texans offensive players?
Brandon Cooks.
Way to go. And that's probably...
And is he an underrated player because like he gets a ton of volume in Houston. Like, and I know it's not sexy, but he gets a lot of catches out there.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks is actually one of 2 players, I believe, who has had, I think, 6 touchdowns and 1,100 yards in 6 of the last 8 seasons. The only 2 players can say that. So that's a pretty consistent career for Brandon Cooks. And when he's going to be the number 1 target, whether it's Davis Mills throwing him the ball or if they pick up somebody else, I'm definitely in on Brandon Cooks this year and his ADP going around in the 5th round. I definitely like him this year.
Brandon Cooks is 28, not old, but getting up there. He's on his 4th team.
I thought it was more, to be honest.
They got Philip Dorsett, Nico Collins, Marlon Mack. You don't want any.
I thought they had a rookie they got. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Nico, maybe.
They have a rookie running back.
Okay. Before he goes, can I ask him one question about my keepers?
Please do.
CW, I wanted to get your opinion on my choices for my keepers. Basically, the way I saw it is I could have kept Mike Williams in the 5th, and then I would have had to sacrifice kind of one of these younger flyer players that I'm hoping might step into a larger role. So I decided to go with Trey Lance, Elijah Moore, which that was the one that I really wanted to keep. And I got Terrace Marshall Jr. and then Dallas Goedert for the 17th. I would have had to drop one of those players from the list if I kept, or maybe 2 if I kept Mike Williams. Did I do the right thing?
So let me get this straight. Wait, for the record, you want me to help you win the league?
No, you really think I'm going to win? I don't have Alvin Kamara in the 13th anymore. How am I going to win?
You can drop a couple of those guys and keep Mike Williams, is what I'm thinking here.
Yeah, Mike Williams is going to be tough in a season long only because...
Yeah, he's hit or miss.
20 points, and then you're going to get maybe 3 or 4.
True.
He does.
Is he would Mike Williams been a value in the 5th? Would Mike Williams been a value pick in the 5th round in our league?
But I think Terrace Marshall Jr. is a nothing burger. Maybe I'm wrong.
Fantasy, yeah.
Yeah.
Right at the moment, yes. Right at the moment. Is there any value with the Trey Lance? Do you have any opinion on that one?
I do like Trey Lance's upside. I think you are definitely looking at the younger guys that you want to keep, and that's what you do in this type of league where we're in a dynasty. That you want to hold on to these guys in hopes that their upside is tremendous. And this could it be a Lamar Jackson year where he all of a sudden blows up because of his running ability, and Shanahan gets him to do what he needs him to do with the passing game. But
great coach, yeah.
Or if it's the next year, even maybe not even this year. If I see the right progress, I can keep him again as a 10th, and then hoping next year is the big year.
I definitely think you played it the right cards with. Look, you won the league a couple years ago because you had Kamara 2 years prior, and you got him in your last year, in a double-digit round where he was a top 4 back. So that's how you win leagues like this, and you might have one of those guys that does that.
Thank you.
All right. Way to go, Tony. Chad, we'll wrap it up here. Chad said his Titan radar went off. He says, what is Henry's injury history? He's had 1 injury. Come on, guys. And I'm looking at it. Derrick Henry has played 15 games, 16, 16, 15, 16, 8. So I question it more from I don't want to draft a running back high that completely falls off the cliff. And I've been wrong before. I had Marshawn Lynch out of the league like 7 years too early. So I jump off too early because I'm scared to get them that year they fall off the cliff. I guess Derrick Henry.
Max Kellerman had Tom Brady out of the league. He got roasted this week.
So, Chad, I'm not talking injury history for me. I'm talking more I'm just scared all the miles are going to add up. But anyway, that's what I was getting at.
Well, Cliff, I'll say this. The talking heads of the fantasy world have dug into this fantasy with injury with Derrick Henry. And the doctors pretty much say there's like a 25% chance that injury could be re-injured again, which is like an injury that not all injuries could do that. And it's a re-injure. So that's the history that we're talking about, not him getting hurt 3 out of the last 4 years.
And it's just adding all the research you can do, and it's overthinking it, like Tony said. But it's your fantasy team. Build it the way you want to. CW, good stuff. We'll get you back on next week and talk more fantasy with you.
We got a great one. The AFC West and the AFC East. A lot of fantasy players are going to change some fantasy leagues in terms of the players we're going to be talking about next week.
Ton of guys in those divisions. All right, thanks, CW.
All right, thank y'all.
Take a timeout, come back. We'll talk about what's going on at Panthers camp and more on Pirate Radio Live here on a football and free beer Friday. Back with you after this.
Hey, Pirate Nation, come party with us for the Pirate Radio Football Kickoff Party. It's back and approaching fast. Tickets are on sale right now for only $10. 100% of the ticket sales will be donated to local charities. Join our Pirate Radio crew Thursday, September 1st at the State Theater in downtown Greenville, featuring 80s music by The Breakfast Club, plus many more special surprises. Go to pr927fm.com right now to get your tickets before it sells out. And go Pirates!
So, how does short points work?
Well, at Jersey Mike's, 6 regular number 13s plus 3 giant number 7s equals a free regular number 13. So, Pepsi and Lay's now earn more points towards free subs.
That adds up.
Exactly. Download the Jersey Mike's app and earn rewards towards free subs with every sub, Pepsi, and Lay's you purchase.
So, how does short points work?
Well, at Jersey Mike's, 6 regular number 13s plus 3 giant number 7s equals a free regular number 13. So, Pepsi and Lay's now earn more points towards free subs.
That adds up.
Exactly. Download the Jersey Mike's app and earn rewards towards free subs with every sub, Pepsi, and Lay's you purchase.
Country Mart has been locally owned and operated for over 40 years and is your premier country store serving the best cheese biscuits and country food around. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Both Country Mart locations are top-of-the-line fuel stations serving Shell gas, including 93 ethanol-free high-octane gas, which is the best for all you boat owners. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food in your engines with great gasoline. Go Pirates!
That perfect tractor package you've been eyeing at Quality Equipment just got a little more perfect. Haul your next 1, 3, or 5 Series John Deere tractor off the lot on your brand new trailer. Visit our site at QualityEquip.com to add it to your package. Start with Quality Equipment to get any task done right. We've got the full line of John Deere equipment priced right with low monthly payments and special financing. Plus, we service everything we sell. Visit QualityEquip.com to see our latest offers.
Winslow's Deli is now Fifth Street Hardware, restaurant and tap room. With a brand new look, Fifth Street Hardware also has a brand new menu, serving lunch and dinner every Tuesday through Sunday and brunch starting at 10:30 on Sundays. What else is new? Well, how about poker every Tuesday night and Trivia Wednesday with DJ Captain Morgan? It's a new look and a new name, but the same great location on Fifth Street beside the State Theater. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram for specials and events. Fifth Street Hardware Restaurant and Tap Room. University PC Care has been the Pirate Nation's go-to IT expert since 2006. They thank you for your continued support and trust during these trying times. Many services can be done remotely and free pickup and delivery is available. As a Dell business partner and Apple authorized service provider, you can count on University PC Care for all your personal and business tech support needs. To make a remote appointment or to bring in your device for service at their Greenville or New Bern locations, call 558-1280 or go online at universitypccare.com.
Chico's Mexican Restaurant is the home of the best margaritas. Grab your amigos and head to Chico's every Tuesday for the Gulf of Mexico, a huge 38-ounce lime margarita for only $7.99. On Thursdays, relax and enjoy half-price pitchers of Chico's house margaritas. Choose from lime, strawberry, blood orange, raspberry, or peach. For Mexican food and fun, it's got to be Chico's Mexican Restaurant in downtown Greenville and online at chicosrestaurant.com. Chico's, where the fiesta never ends.
East Coast Grading and Utilities is your source for clearing, hauling dirt, and concrete work. East Coast Grading and Utilities handles all sewer and water issues as well.
I'm David Vaughn. Whether putting in a new subdivision or helping you with any and all of your drainage problems, I can get the job done. Call me at 531-7494.
No job is too big or too small. East Coast Grading and Utilities. Friends helping friends. 531-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
Pirate Radio.
We're going to be bigger, faster, stronger, and older. That's always a good combination.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by Country Mart. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations, in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food and your engines with great gasoline. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Do you need custom t-shirts, apparel, or promotional items for your business, organization, or event? Well, keep it local and print it local with University Sportswear. Contact them today at universitysportswearenc.com, the official sportswear provider of Pirate Radio. Now let's head back in to PRL. Here's Clip.
Alrighty, back with you, Pirate Radio Live. Let's talk training camp. What's important? There's videos of highlights going around, and I'm going to tell you, a quarterback making a throw, good or bad, Baker Mayfield interception, doesn't matter at all. Great catch by a rookie, doesn't matter at all. The only thing that matters to me is when a guy gets carted off. Ryan Jensen. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I see like John Dotson from Washington, the rookie, make catches, and it's like, okay, I don't care at all. What about you guys?
I just checked the on Twitter. We have it's called the Panthers YouTube creator group. So it's just like all the YouTube creators have this group chat going, and my co-host has been arguing with 3 of these guys over this one ball from Baker Mayfield for the last hour and a half, dude. I mean, it's like crazy. And they're like, is it overthrown? Is it high? I was like, and it's so crazy. They're trying to make all of this judgment off of this, and I'm with you, Clip. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yes, you want every pass to be perfect. You want every ball to be caught.
But even if it is, it doesn't mean
Yeah, you could stink in the game, you know? So I try not to latch on to the camp darlings too much after Russell Shepard. We got that one, as Russell Shepard was a former Tampa Bay Buccaneer. He came in on a 1-year deal to the Carolina Panthers, and they're like, he's having the best camp you've ever seen. And this dude was a bum.
Yeah, he was nothing.
Who's the salsa dancer for the Giants?
Victor Cruz.
Victor Cruz.
God. I loved him,
Is one of the only guys who... He was wearing a single-digit number in preseason. It might have even been 0 before receivers were allowed to do that. He was such an unknown. He's like the only guy. There's probably others, but he's the storybook guy that came out of nowhere,
in preseason,
had a monster preseason camp, and then turned it into something. But that's why we remember that, because it doesn't happen a lot like that.
And then his story was a sad one in the end. It was just marred by injury and kind of disappointment.
So I don't want to tell people not to get excited. I just personally, I've just seen it enough where...
Well, why don't you just not get too high or too low on anything? And what I say is just turn your excitement to this, is that you're seeing people do football-like movements. You know, is for the last 6 months, we've had to speculate about what people could do on the foot. Now we actually get to see footballs in the air, guys catching balls, running around, see their faces. So it's just that my excitement is just that not somebody caught it. Yeah, it's that it's there.
Great pass by Trey Lance there, Tony.
Nice.
To Brandon Ayuk. That was huge.
Man, really having a great camp. I think his ADP just skyrocketed.
And another thing is, too, the Steelers guy, the guy that they just picked in the draft this past year, I saw a lot of people making fun of Kenny Pickett today because he threw an interception.
Everything's going to be so...
And everybody's making fun. Like, it's one interception.
Well, I saw earlier this week, Trubisky missed a throw, and the fans were saying, put in Pickett.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that's how we all do. I think
morons.
Baker threw 3 picks today, though, or something like that, or he's 0 for 4 in the red zone.
This is also Baker's third overall practice with.
I
changed my mind. That is important, and I do care about that. Baker sucks.
Really?
No.
Okay.
I did see somebody say, why is Sam Darnold getting any reps? And
I agree.
He's got to get a few, but I agree with that sentiment that this is Baker's team. Give him the full reins. Are the Panthers doing that? They came out and said there was a competition.
No, the very first day, Sam Darnold took reps with the ones. And then the second day, it was Baker with the ones.
Then
the day, it was Sam Darnold with the ones.
Just give him the ball.
Well, for me, it's not even about that competition being problematic. To me, it's taking reps away from Matt Corral to have meaningful time out there. And so Like, I mean, I really just don't see a world where Baker Mayfield starts and then either gets benched or hurt and Sam Darnold comes in and saves the day.
The Panthers might be one of the few teams, if you poll the fan base, I'm sure there's a lot of Baker fans out there, but is Matt Corral the most popular Panthers quarterback amongst the fans right now?
He is with my co-host. My co-host is in love with him.
Cody loves him.
Yeah.
Hey,
and does not like Baker.
Really?
Does not.
And again, Tony, we've talked about this. We're kind of stubborn. It is tough for us to change an opinion on a guy. Once we set our feet in, it's tough for us to admit we were wrong.
Or you just want to wish it into existence almost. You're like, I'm going to believe it to be.
But I think, I don't know. I thought Darnold might work out last year. I think Baker and Carolina could be exciting for you guys this year.
I think there's a lot of things that could happen, good and bad. What about this? I wanted to ask you a question. You see that one picture of the Washington practice where there's nobody there?
Yeah, I don't.
Do you think that was out of context, poor?
I mean, I saw another one today where Terry McLaurin
was signing hundreds and hundreds. Yeah,
I think it was like a.
Okay. Yeah. I had a good tweet on this one. Is that because that same day that picture came out, the Panthers released their supposed new policy that fans can't take pictures and video.
Hey, at least we can see pictures of our camp.
Right. I said Washington Commanders' new policy, no pictures of fan activities, only team activities.
Do not take pictures of the sidelines. So that's one of those things, Tony, and I was asking about it. I thought when you brought it up, it was like a Matt Rule didn't want videos of what was happening at practice, one of those competition things, but you said it's more of the team wants to control their media.
Yes, and it's because the internet has decentralized, the way we consume content, and they want you to go to Panthers.com and watch their one really high-produced video.
Right.
That's why they took away. I mean, if you saw years ago, the media used to be able to take video footage. That's gone. So they're really trying. This is the power of the NFL. They're the one sport right now that I think that still has the chops to monopolize everything. I mean, there'll be a day where it ends. I personally hate the policy because I think kind of a rising tide lifts all boats. I think the more people are talking about the Carolina Panthers, the more it helps their team the value of their team.
If you used to go to training camp, you post a cool video of you interacting with a player or an awesome catch, it might make the guy 30 minutes from there say, hey, our family should go out there.
Right.
I mean, maybe that's corny, but
No, I mean, that's actually the real value of all of this. And it's not like I was making any money off of it. Or if it is, it's
right. You're not monetizing
one penny.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that it's an antiquated view, and I just think the irony is fan interest in the Carolina Panthers for the last 4 years has been declining. So let's institute a policy that makes fans less involved and less engaged and less accessible.
Are they enforcing it though? Because I'm seeing videos all over Twitter of
not as much.
Camp.
You can't.
No, the first day there were a bunch of videos came out, and then the second day, we're in day 3, by the way. So how many videos have you seen from today's practice?
That's a good point.
And it was all the videos from day one, and I said this on our recap. I said, don't be surprised when the Carolina Panthers shut this down. And then the next day, they said Usher came up to a guy and said, you don't need to be doing that. And now they've been locked. The guys that are putting them up are doing it more and clandestinely, so.
All right, let's take another break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up hour number 2 with Tony Dunn, CarolinaCatChronicles.com. More to go. Pirate Radio Live after this.
Warren's Hot Dog Pizza, homemade lemonade.
Hey, Pirate Nation, Warren's now has 2 locations, in Greenville across from Ron Ayers Motorsports and the Chocowinity location next to the fire department. Stop in today for hot dogs, pizza, subs, apple and peach turnovers, homemade lemonade, and breakfast in Chocowinity featuring homemade cheese, ham and chicken biscuits, plus sausage dogs and more. Warren's Hot Dogs. Want some? Get some. Go Pirates.
In studio with Jeff Stein from Brown & Wood. What's new, Jeff?
You know, everybody's thinking we're having some inventory issues in the car business, which some of it's true. For used vehicles, Brown & Wood has a lifetime powertrain on every vehicle you buy from us, new or used. So even when you buy a used vehicle from Brown & Wood, you have lifetime powertrain. We cover the engine, transmission for as long as you own the car.
Brown & Wood, your #1 dealership in Greenville and the home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Hey Pirate fans, this is Cliff Godwin. Summer is upon us and I want to invite you to attend our CG23 Youth Camp here at East Carolina University. We will offer 3 sessions of camp. All camps will be held at Clark LeClaire Stadium and campers will get baseball instruction from the ECU baseball staff and players. Campers will play games each day and each camp ends with our famous Pirate Slip and Slide. Full day and half day sessions offered. For more information, visit cliffgodwinbaseballcamp.com. See you there and go Pirates!
Hey Pirate Nation, Lindsay Gray here with Carolina Caliber. In 1960, my granddaddy started his firearm business right here in Eastern NC. Still family owned and operated, we have the area's largest selection for outdoor shooting sports and accessories and are one of the nation's top firearm dealers. At Carolina Caliber, we have everything you need from hunting, home defense, and personal protection, including a wide variety for ladies and youth. We buy, sell, and trade. It's a time-honored tradition. Visit us at Carolina Caliber on Fire Tower Road in Winterville.
North Carolina State Parks is proud to announce that they have partnered with the Hometown Strong program. Our visitor centers are now equipped with public Wi-Fi to help kids with school. Remote learning has become a critical public health measure in maintaining social distance and continuing to educate our young people. Take advantage of Wi-Fi and a hike at Goose Creek State Park or a day trip to the beach and access remote learning at Fort Macon State Park. For more information, visit hometownstrong.nc.gov.
Christie's Europub is the perfect place to relax, grab a bite, and enjoy a drink. Located in the heart of Greenville and just a few blocks from ECU's campus, Christie's offers lunch, dinner, and late night with live music every Sunday. Come and have brunch Monday through Friday from 11 to 3 or Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 4. Scratch cooking takes time, so relax and enjoy a pint at Christie's Europub today. For the latest information, check them out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram or visit them online at christieseuropub.com.
I'm Donald Stocks, owner of PIP Marketing Signs Print. We are your one-stop shop for just about anything printed. If we're not your go-to printer, please give us a call at 355-1636. We have over 80 5-star Google reviews and want you to be our next more than satisfied and well-pleased customer. Check us out at growitpip.com or stop in to see us at 3185 Mosley Drive in Greenville. PIP, where business goes to grow.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
This is Ryder Giles, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by Country Mart. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations, in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food and your engines with great gasoline. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. The Pirate Radio football kickoff party is approaching fast, and tickets are on sale right now for only $10. 100% of the ticket sales will be donated to local charities. Join Pirate Radio on Thursday, September 1st at the State Theater in downtown Greenville, featuring 80s music by the Breakfast Club, plus many more special surprises, including the world-famous Clydesdales. You can get your picture taken with them. Go to pr927fm.com right now to get your tickets before they sell out. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip.
All right, let's wrap up the hour and go inside the Anger Management Rage Room. We have it right here in Greenville, North Carolina, right down the road from our Pirate Radio studios. Anger, mgmtnc.com to book your therapy session where you can smash and bash objects and not get in trouble for it. Get that anger out, get the rage out. Don't keep it pin up. Get it out. It's healthy for you, and you can do it in the anger management rage room. I'm going to rage against people who don't check sources and just... So ESPN was guilty of this recently, where they took something they saw online that they thought was official.
And it was on a show.
And it was on one of their programs.
And they
had
flashed
a
it up there.
stupid debate about it, and it was a quote that wasn't even true. I saw Frank Martin, who is not at South Carolina. He is the coach of UMass now, Frank Martin, formerly K-State. Real fiery guy. I saw he got by Ballsack Sports. So, first of all, it's Ballsack Sports. Not
reputable.
The most,
It's the most reputable.
Here's a problem. If you see a picture, like a graphic, and there's a picture, and there's a quote under it, and then like fine print.
It's about like having a steak on a fishing line.
I mean, it looks so juicy that it's got to be real, right?
Yeah.
Even though me or Tony or anybody can make one right now. CJ's got all the equipment. He can make some nice ones right now. Just because it looks that way doesn't mean it's real. This latest one was from Bob Cousy. Bob Cousy had words for those who hate on old era basketball. So there's a picture of Bob Cousy, and there's a quote under it, and it says, "Who gives a darn if we played against plumbers and firefighters? At least we didn't play against a bunch of TikTok dancers and Twitch streamers. We played against men." And then Frank Martin quote tweeted that with the eyeball emoji.
The eyeball emoji kills me every time because it's just like...
By the way, underneath that Cousy quote, there is a smaller font that said, "Bob Cousy could not be reached for an actual interview." So just be careful what you retweet and things you see. It's not like everybody's out there to make you look like a fool, and a lot of times you end up looking like a fool. Stop just putting anything out there that you see on the internet.
I got to rage about something similar. Is you got to check your facts. You got to have some respect. Put some respect. And put my, what is it they say? Put some respect in my name?
Yeah.
Is that how they say it? Man, if you're going to call somebody by their name, I want you to call them by their right name. I want you to get their name right. Do your legwork. Get this nickname right. People have been, or Robbie Anderson is being disrespected because people are not getting his nickname right.
His name's Robbie, R-O-B-B-Y.
Well, he changed his nickname.
You're disrespecting him.
He
what are you
changed
talking
his
about?
Nickname.
His name is R-O-B-B-Y, Robbie.
No, his name is Robbie.
Right, Robbie. That's what I said.
His
No,
name
you
is
did
Robbie.
not.
Robbie.
No. His name is Robbie with an I-E. And he said, "I want to go by Robbie."
You already go by Robbie.
That's what, yes. He already goes by Robbie. And he goes, but I want to go to the more sophisticated Robbie with the I-E. And one time when I wore number 3, I used to be Robbie I-E. And then I went to Robbie Y. And we said, "Robbie, why?" And he said, "No, Robbie I-E."
Is this who's on first? So he said, like, I had a good year one time when I was IE.
He said that.
So why did he go back to Y?
And I have not fact-checked this, so this could also just be one of those spoofs, but this would be...
Adam Schefter breaking it today. Panthers wide receiver Robbie Anderson, and he spells it I-E, told reporters today that he now will be going by Robbie, I-E, as opposed to Robbie with a Y.
Robbie Anderson is a living, breathing internet, like, hoax.
Robbie Y. Robbie I-E.
Here's the quote from Robbie I-E Anderson. "I kind of like how it looks. It's better on paper with the I-E on the end," Anderson said.
For a man who...
That's what it was when I wore number 3, too.
What is he talking about?
This is so awesome.
He doesn't know.
He likes the way it looks. And this is the same guy who needs people who... They have Twitter translate for this guy.
He is a space cadet. He is out there. IE. All right.
I hate when people are loud and drunk in a bar and a person's trying to place in sports trivia and is infiltrated. Their sports trivia table is infiltrated. And I mean annoying people in public.
With great
And
booties.
it ruins a person's chance at placing in sports trivia.
You did come over and tell me about that.
It's like
Wait,
that.
I'm not talking about me.
This is the most suspect thing Chandler has ever said in his life.
It's like that old Ron White bit. that where he gets arrested for being drunk in public, and he said, "I wasn't drunk in public. They threw me into public. I was drunk in a bar."
So Chandler had this beautiful girl come take his seat, and he comes up and he goes, "You're in my seat." And she's like, "Well, why don't you go get another?" He made this girl go get a chair.
No, I didn't.
That's
untrue.
It is pretty close.
No, it's not. I went up to.
You're like, "Why are you in my seat?"
No, I walked up there.
And
the girl looks up to me
she's like
and says,
a 12, bro.
No. Okay, whatever. I go up there. I look. I'm like, "Oh my God, there's someone in my seat." And I just walk up. She goes, "Oh, do you want?" She said, "Do you want to go get another chair?"
He's like,
and
"No."
I just like kind of. I almost was like, almost tossed her out of the chair.
I know. I mean, a 12. This girl was smoking. She was total smoke show. And he's like, "Get out of my seat."
I didn't say that. I didn't say get out of my seat, but I was highly annoyed.
Didn't he say earlier this week that his love life was on life support?
No, he said non-existent.
Non-existent? Well, maybe that's why.
That's why we figured it out.
Bagged her and tagged her. Good God.
He has no game.
Tony stirring the pot.
Yeah, I'm glad Tony was there for your rage so he can comment on it.
I know. I'm raging about your rage.
All right, real quick, running out of time. What do you guys got?
For the love of Peter, Paul, and Mary, whoever keeps taking these, I've complained about it before. Once again, this week, in 2 different places in the city of Greenville, they have closed off lanes of traffic. And nobody's doing anything. Like, literally, there are cones, lanes are blocked off, and there's no utility trucks, there's no nothing. So why are the cones there?
Maybe they're doing it at night.
Get out. No, if you're going to do it at night, that's fine. Fantastico. But when you are signing off for the day, take them stinking cones up and let those lanes fly. Because especially if I am trying to meet, a friend for lunch and I'm already blocked off coming up Evans because the darn train is, blocking traffic. So I go down Charles and then I get stuck in one lane on Charles for that very reason.
This happened to me today.
Whoever is making those traffic decisions, a plague on both your houses.
Pick up the cones. All right, CJ.
People who talk on speakerphone in public. I think we've been over that before too. But it happened to me earlier this week at a grocery store again. Just stop. Put it up to your ear. Put some headphones in.
It's
stop
terrible.
It. Yeah, that's all.
It's an epidemic going around. All right, that's the anger management rage room. It's right down the road, Chan Man, if you want to get out your anger.
That's right. It's that
about people taking your seat.
Yeah, it's at Clark Street. I'm sure they got some new stuff in there. By the way, you can contribute to the anger management rage room. You can donate. You have some wine bottles, a TV, washer and dryer,
a Sam Darnold jersey.
If you want to just put on on whatever and beat the crap out of it, go for it. You can donate, help them out, and go check it out at Clark Street right down in downtown Greenville.
If you have one of those NCDOT vests, put it on one of those things.
I just donated 892
Give me
cones
a traffic cone.
up.
I will crush it.
Tony, you guys are putting out a lot of content right now. So the show is every Tuesday, but what else you got?
We have the beat check on Wednesday nights. We have Friday free for all tonight, where fans can come on and interact on the podcast themselves. And we're looking forward to the season when the post game show comes back.
Awesome stuff, Tony. Thanks for joining us, man. We'll talk to you next week. Tony Dunn, CarolinaCatChronicles.com, C3 Podcast, and all of the other goodies they got going on right now, because that means football is just about here. We will talk to Steve Shankweiler about Pirate football. Take a look at the offensive line. When we return, we'll talk about the Pirates.
He's a pirate.
After this.
Pirate fans, the 2022 football season is going to be one for the record books. East Carolina is coming off a 7-win bowl season, and 2022 is shaping up to be even better. The Pirates need you to pack Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium this fall with a great home slate that includes in-state rival North Carolina State. The American Conference schedule features home games against UCF, Memphis, Houston, and Navy. Season tickets are on sale for as low as $125. Get your tickets today by visiting ECUPirates.com.
This is Martin Truex Jr., and as a NASCAR Cup Series champion, I love one-stop shopping. When I need fresh tires or fuel during a race, my pit crew takes care of everything. Off the track, I have an auto owner's independent agent. They handle all my insurance in one place: car, home, life, and business. Get your own pit crew and find a local agency with auto owner's insurance.
This is Jeff Gibson with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates!
Welcome to US Cellular, where new and current customers choose any phone they want for free.
Free? Even the one with 5G and lots of storage?
Free.
And the one with the latest everything?
Free.
At US Cellular, any phone you see is free, whether you're a new or current customer. US Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. Terms apply. See uscellular.com for details.
This is Brandon Tate, owner and operator of Atlantic Wireless, an authorized agent for US Cellular since 1997. Visit atlanticwireless.com to find the store near you. We go beyond the call.
This pepperoni was carefully placed by hand by a pizza maker at Papa John's. Just like this one, and that one over there. Ooh, and even these in the crust. Get yourself the new epic pepperoni stuffed crust pizza, only at Papa John's.
Hey, Pirate fans, the Papa John's Epic Stuffed Crust one-topping pizza is only $13.99 and is an MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 for the Golf Shop Radio Show. Hosts Mark Greenhelge and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're gonna love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop.
For dine-in or to-go, Familia is your favorite place for great Italian food and more. Familia has just launched a new menu featuring new pizzas like the Sweet and Spicy and the Southwest Chicken. Every Sunday, you can feed the whole family with a buy one, get the second pizza half-price special all day. If you need to unwind after work during the week, stop by Wednesday for half-price wine, and Thursdays, all drafts are only $2. Familia on Fire Tower Road near Pitt Community College.
Hey Pirate fans, Derek Pizzeni from Carolina Wealth Management. Are you a fiduciary? That's a question every investor should ask their advisor. A fiduciary is an individual who acts in the best interest of a particular person or beneficiary. Is your advisor a fiduciary? You should know it's your money. At Carolina Wealth Management, we do things differently from other investment firms. To learn more about the benefits of working with a fiduciary advisor, visit mycarolinawealth.com. That's mycarolinawealth.com.
The icy treat that can't be beat is Sparky Snowballs. From big kids to little kids, Sparky Snowballs has been making smiles happen for over 20 years. If you're not in the mood to chill out with a snowball, Sparky's funnel cakes and fried Oreos are a perfect Sparky-licious treat every time. Are you having an event, party, or fundraiser? Call Sparky's to come on site. Remember to follow Sparky's on Facebook or visit SparkySnowballs.com to see where they'll be next.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Tiebreakers is open every day at 11 a.m. and is the best place to watch your favorite sports while enjoying the best wings in town, along with sandwiches, appetizers, cold beer, and more. Follow Tiebreakers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates. Tiebreakers in Greenville at Bells Fork and in downtown Winterville on Railroad Street. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip.
Football Friday. Talked about it from start, and we'll do it till the finish. Had Mike Houston on hour number 1, talked NFL hour 2. We're back to Pirate football now, talking to Steve Shankweiler, East Carolina offensive line coach, who joins us on the Pirate Radio Live line. Coach Shank, how you doing?
Doing great, Cliff. Appreciate you having me on.
Yes, sir, and enjoying having you on. And I guess at this point, Coach, you've been in it a long time. I don't have to tell you, you don't get a ton of time off as a college football coach. But after all these years, have you been able to perfect your calendar? You know when you got to work, you know when you got to recruit, you know that short amount of time in the summer you get off. So have you been able to perfect that yet?
Yeah, I think what happens is your body does it for you. A college coach doesn't need a calendar. You just know, okay, after this many weeks, this new event's going to start, and then after that many weeks, this is going to happen. So, but yeah, you get in a groove, and except when they change the rules, it's been pretty consistent over the years.
Yeah, you are well conditioned at this point. Steve Shankweiler joining us, Coach. A lot of people excited about your offensive line group this year, and I remember talking to you at Media Day last year. You talked about the improvements made from when you got back here to where you were going into 2021. Do you feel even better about where you are this time this year than say you did a year ago?
Yeah, Cliff, I think, like we've talked about, and I think everybody has a general feeling about, it's been a well planned out, consistent growth and development of a roster, not just in the offensive line but across the board. But we knew when we got here that the two lines of scrimmages were going to be critical to revamping, and I think we've done that. I don't know that we've arrived as on either side of the ball as just the cream of the crop, but we certainly have more depth, more experience. I don't want to say a higher quality player. That's not fair to the kids that were here, but certainly the depth, the investment in terms of time developing them understanding the system and the consistency of the program has paid off, more and more each year.
Coach, with the players returning next week and getting ready for fall camp, what is the injury situation on the O-line? You look at a guy like Bailey Malovic, and man, you guys have been snake bit losing a tackle, the opener, for the last 2 years. It's kind of crazy how that's happened. But how is he doing? How is your O-line doing? Are they going to be 100% ready to go when you guys start practice next week?
Yeah, I think that, and actually, we lost another tackle in the second or third game last year, and then Noah Henderson with his back issues was very inconsistent. So we've been, snake bits probably, I guess that's the right word. But the positive side of that is that you do play some younger guys. You also take some guys and cross train them at different positions. So we've got a group of players that really can be somewhat interchangeable position to position. Right now, we've kind of designated, because of our depth, okay, everybody's playing one spot, but things do happen where you do have to move some guys around, and they're capable of doing that. Bailey is right now, he's set to be full go on Wednesday. He came coming off an ACL from the Appalachian game, but that's seventh play of the game. And but he's had a good off season. He's worked really hard. He's gained a bunch of weight, and he is right now physically the best he's ever been since he's been here. And then Noah Henderson was kind of a 60% guy during the course of the year in terms of numbers of plays, but he's had a really, really, really good rehab off season. His back will always be an issue for him, but he has worked awfully hard to get his weight right and as strong as he can be. And so, going into day one, we do not have any guys on the injury list, but we do have some guys that we're going to have to monitor and be careful with them. You can't just throw a guy like Bailey back into, everything's full speed, because he hadn't played since the Appalachian game. So we do have to monitor some guys, but as you mentioned, we now have some depth enough across the board that when we do have to rest somebody, we feel like there's a pretty capable person going on the field.
Steve Shankweiler joining us today on Pirate Radio Live, and you mentioned Bailey and Noah there and their weights, and everybody's different, right, Coach? You got to monitor those weights and those bodies differently. And Bailey Malovic, it reminds me of a guy, we talked to Bryce Williams, former ECU tight end, every week, and he said he was trying to put on weight his entire college football career to the point where he'd set an alarm to wake up and eat peanut butter in the middle of the night, just something to try to put some weight on. And Bailey's got a tremendous frame, but just kind of tough to add pounds to it. So that's unique too, right, Coach? That you got to work with everybody kind of individually on how they can improve their body to become a successful offensive lineman.
Well, I think that's true. If you're at, I'll just pick a school. If you're at Alabama or Ohio State, the guys that you generally can recruit, they kind of all look alike. And but we have to be pretty specific about what the kind of kid we recruit positionally because of the depth. In the so-called middle schools of Division I, you're not going to have as many. Okay, so you got to be careful to maintain like the length you want at tackle. Okay, well those are probably going to be, maybe like I said in Ohio State, they're still going to be big, strong kids, but they're going to be 6'6", 6'7". Well, the 6'6", 6'7" kid we get, is probably going to be in the 265, 270 range, and you got to put weight on him. And that's kind of what Bailey's deal's been. And then he's had some health issues. COVID hurt him pretty significantly 2 years ago, and he wasn't able to maintain his weight. And then obviously the injury last year really slowed up some of the things you would like to do with him in the weight room. But he has overcome that. He's well over 300 pounds right now. He's worked really hard at it. So I'm excited about him. He's a great kid, a go-getter, and we're just keeping our fingers crossed and praying that he's able to stay healthy.
A lot of familiar names, faces with Big Noah Henderson, Bailey Malovic, also Avery Jones returning. I believe, Coach, we've been talking about it, that's the first time Holton Ahlers will have a center in back-to-back seasons that he's familiar with from the previous year. So that is a positive sign. Also, Nashad Strother has played a lot of football here at East Carolina. And then you add a couple of additions there on the offensive line with Parker Moore, Justin Redd, to name a couple. How have the new guys, and we'll find out more, of course, when they report and get ready for fall camp, but how have they kind of fit into the locker room, Coach, fit into this offensive line group that you're putting together?
Well, fitting in the locker room it's been really, really well done on their part, and our team, receiving those guys. And offensive linemen generally are pretty cliquish within their own little group, and they fit in well. Parker had the advantage of going through spring practice in the off-season program, so you almost look at him like a veteran, and he's doing well, and we're counting on big things for him. And Justin Redd did not go through spring, but got here in May, and has been through the off-season part, at least the summer part. And is such a likable guy. He's it'd be hard for him not to fit in anywhere. And then Ben Johnson, the kid we brought in from Marist College, who was a tackle there, and we've converted him to a center. He's just same thing. He's an outstanding kid. We're Coach Houston's going to make sure, and I'm going to make sure that the kids that we bring in, do fit. That they have to fit our culture. And those three guys, have just fit in beautifully, and they're all really excited to get started because each of them has something individual they want to prove, and then obviously as a team, we want them to do well.
Steve Shankweiler joining us. Coach, we had Holton Ahlers on a couple weeks ago, and we're talking about the improved O-line. He's very excited about the group and said he doesn't think he can name a starting five at this point. So as we head into fall camp, is there still open competition that's about to be going on out there on the practice fields, or do you have an idea on who your five is to start the season?
Well, you always have an idea, and the kids do too. Kids know. I mean, they know they have a feel, but we're pretty open about, the fact that we're going to make everybody compete every day. And even if a guy's an established player, his standard is he's got to compete against a standard that may not be here. Okay, we may have to set higher goals for him, but no, every day's a challenge. The depth chart is not set. You can have a pretty good idea because of who's played, but I thought about it. Before we talk today, I think if you count the three transfers, okay, and you just kind of say, okay, here's a two deep that looks like it could be the two deep, then we've got, out of 10 guys, we've got 8, I believe, or 9 that have started a Division I football game, and either here or where they came from. And so, it's going to be, there's a standard, and if you falter a little bit, then there's somebody right there to push you. So it'll be interesting. And as a coach, I'm really excited to see that competition.
Steve Shankweiler joining us today on Pirate Radio Live as we talk ECU offensive line. And, Coach, let's look at who you got behind those starters. And how many, I guess in a perfect world, how many would you like to play on a Saturday? Would you want to go all 5 for 75 to 90 snaps, or would you like to get some other guys in and give guys a breather? What's your plan there if it all goes perfect for you on game day?
Well, I think what you just said is right. When it all goes perfect, but I've yet to be in a football season where everything.
Right.
That it's a very fluid situation. But we've got, ideally, you'd like to be able to, you'd love to be able to play 10 guys. That's never happened in my career. But we've got, like I said, we've got 8, and I have to go back and look, maybe 9, but 8 for sure guys have started D1 football games somewhere. And so, you got to get those guys in the game, and you got to make sure, because again, I mentioned Noah and Bailey in particular, because they have had some, they've had some misfortune injury wise. You don't want them playing 85 snaps. Okay. You want guys to step up, so that, they can maybe go at a 1/3, 2/3, type of ratio. Our Avery Jones has had a very solid year as a center, first time ever playing it. But we've got a couple guys, Ben Johnson being the guy I mentioned a minute ago. We brought Ben in here to A, to challenge Avery, but B, to play. And that's the world of the portal. The transfer portal, people, you got to think of all the ramifications it has, but one of the ramifications it has, when kids transfer, they're coming here to play, and they have a very serious mindset because they're making an investment by leaving where they came from. And so, I've got these 3 guys, and they've all packed up and left places that they signed with out of high school, and all 3 in this particular case were starters. 2 of them were all conference, and one of them was an All-American at the FCS level. So they expect to play, and my job is to help them get on the field as much as we can, and yet maintain the standard of play that we have to win.
Steve Shankweiler joining us. Coach, we could do an entire show on just changes in football, really from the last 2 to 3 years, but in your coaching career. But how about specifically with the offensive line and what you teach, what is allowed? Have any rules? I know rules have made it so offenses can get down the field and put more points on the board, but has that affected the O-line? How about just coaching the O-line position from, year one to where you are now? Has it changed much at all, or is it pretty much the same?
Well, there's probably two answers to that question. What has not changed is it's a very physical and very fundamentally oriented position. You're asking guys to move people. You're asking a kid to move a 300-pound man against his will, and so you can't just like I say, fire off the ball. I mean, there's a lot of fundamentals involved in moving a 300-pound person, and especially if that 300-pound person runs better than you do, in most cases defensive players run all too well. So the fundamentals, everybody creates a new thought, but basically the fundamentals are still the same. The game, though, has changed for offensive linemen. For a great example, we just had a rules clinic 2 days ago. The American Conference sent their rules guy here, and they've changed the blocking that's allowed as far as blocking below the waist. Each year they change it a little bit. Each year they've gone to another level where really, unless you can cut a guy in the first 3 steps, if he's within a yard of the line of scrimmage, you can do it. But you can't go cut a linebacker anymore. You can't go cut a defensive back in the open field. So what does that mean? Well, that means that the kids that they got to be more athletic. We play at a faster pace. The ball's snapped 90 times a game now. So conditioning is a bigger factor probably than when I first started. The ability of the kids to run and sustain being able to run, because defenses now play so much more spread out and they're speed oriented in terms of their recruiting. You don't see these great big giant D linemen like you used to. I mean, there are some obviously, but you see so much more athleticism, and you got to block those guys. So you have to recruit, you have to train, and you have to put kids in positions where they got to be more athletic than they used to be, and then they have to be good enough to go execute it. And so it changes recruiting a little bit. You're recruiting kids that run better, and the fact that you say, well, what's the big deal about cutting a guy? Well, if a guy's a lot more athletic than you are, if you can get in his legs and get him on the ground, that's an advantage. Well, they've eliminated that now, so it forces you to really, evaluate the kind of kid you're bringing in and evaluate what you're teaching.
Steve Shankweiler joining us, and Coach, another question on your longevity in the coaching business. And I remember asking you last year, how you still relate to the players, and because everybody that has coached from you, everybody I've talked to has been a big Steve Shankweiler fan when they end up leaving East Carolina. And I asked you how that was, and I remember your answer. You said, players want to be coached, and they want to be coached hard, and you do that each and every year. How about with all the other changes in college football and college athletics? Is it just one of those things, Coach, where you just try to keep up or you get left behind? You don't have much say in it, so you just go about your business, do what you can do. What do you think about all these changes in college athletics?
Well, if you're talking about all the conference alignments and the NIL and the transfer portal, now that's way above my pay grade. And my job is to give kids a chance to be successful. And just really repeating what I've told you before, they put so much time and effort all year long. People don't get it. They lift weights. We get no. People don't understand what these kids have to do all year just to have a chance to be successful. And they're giving themselves to you, okay, and saying, Coach, help me be good, because I put a lot into this, and my whole life was to play Division I football and be successful. So that there's a lot of pressure on you as a coach, and you try every way you can to reach each kid and teach each kid, just like a school teacher. Each kid's a little bit different. They all learn a little bit different. So your job is to go in there and help each one be successful. And I think as they grow older, okay, especially after they graduate, they look back and they appreciate the fact that you did care enough to try to make them all be as good as they can be. And so when you talk about age, I guess by my driver's license, I'm older than a lot of people, but I do think that that's what kids want. They want to be coached. They want to be taught. Yeah, you may have to say it a little bit differently these days. You may have to, obviously you train a little bit differently. Everything's a little bit different, but the reality of it is, when it comes right down to it, they all want to be good, and you're their ticket to being good. And so it's a tremendous responsibility on me, and I take it to heart.
And it's awesome to have you here at East Carolina once again. Steve Shankweiler joining us today on the Pirate Radio Live Line. Coach, this is list season. Everybody's putting out lists. We do it here at Pirate Radio. There's polls. There's all kinds of stuff. In fact, there's one account on the on social media, Big Game Boomer, who I think just got popular for putting out lists, and then people argue about it, and it gets regurgitated, and it's quite genius when you think about it. But, Coach, I'm going to sarcastically ask you about not being on the top 50 list in America, and how much sleep you lost over that when you weren't on that list.
I tell you what, I saw that, and all I did was chuckle and say, you know what, I don't have a target on me. Nobody can argue about the list, and I just be incognito and coach my tail off, and I don't lose much sleep over that.
I figured that. I figured as much.
So I lose a lot of sleep. About third and long.
There you go, third and long. And how about the schedule, Coach? And then we'll kind of wrap it up here. East Carolina's gotten better. Guess what? Everybody else is working hard, getting better too. And you got an NC State D-line week 1 that looks pretty darn good on paper. We know about Cincinnati and Houston, what they can do defensively. UCF, BYU is going to be preseason, top 20, top 15. So the Pirates are getting better, but that schedule looks pretty darn tough, Coach. Going to be some good competition this year.
Yeah, it'll be great competition. But again, that's why you play. And that's why that's why kids want to play at the highest level they can play at. And so it's exciting. We look forward to it. And, you know, the bigger the game you're hunting, the better the prize. So we're fired up about it.
Coach Shank, always enjoy the chat. Thank you so much for joining us, and get back at it next week. I know you're excited about it. The kids are excited about it. Looking forward to another year of Pirate football, and we appreciate you joining us here on, I guess, your last day of summer here, joining us here on the program. We appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Cliff. Go Pirates.
Steve Shankweiler joining us today on Pirate Radio Live, and excited about this O-line group he's got rolling in 2022. All right, Shirley, let's open up the booty bag. We are giving away freedom today on the show, a case of freedom.
Booty, 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 booty everywhere. Booty, 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 booty everywhere.
The iconic Budweiser brand has unleashed the Freedom Beer, and we are giving away a case of it right now. 317-1250, must be 21 or older to win. And what caller are we looking for? Caller 12, 317-1250. We're giving away the beer, and we're back with more football talk with Brian North after this.
Country Mart has been locally owned and operated for over 40 years and is your premier country store serving the best cheese biscuits and country food around. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Both Country Mart locations are top-of-the-line fuel stations serving Shell gas, including 93 ethanol-free high-octane gas, which is the best for all you boat owners. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food in your engines with great gasoline. Go Pirates!
Hello, Pirate Nation. This is Kyle Gaines at Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. We are growing, so is our service department. We're adding more space to provide a faster, more affordable service for you. Come sit down with our team and let us customize your next Jeep or truck. Have the freedom to pick out your own lift, wheels, and tires and more. Drive a little, save a lot when it comes to customizing your next vehicle. We're at Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, located off 264 West in Washington, North Carolina, and online at WashingtonChryslerDodgeJeepRam.com.
Your first stop for shopping is at Shimmer Boutique. This is Ashley from Shimmer. We are fully stocked with the latest apparel, shoes, and accessories and more. If you need gift ideas or some shopping therapy for yourself, stop by today. Looking for the hottest shoes on the market? Shimmer has the biggest selection of Hey Dudes anywhere. Shimmer has the newest Yeti products and colors. Want this year's most popular bag? Shimmer has a great selection of all your bog bag needs and accessories. Shimmer in Greenville, Winterville, and Jacksonville.
Great food, great atmosphere, and great service is Ottavola Market Cafe. Ottavola is simply a restaurant that focuses on that, being a great restaurant. There's something for everyone at Ottavola. The menu offers a variety of great choices like pastas, pizzas, sandwiches, soups, salads, and seasonal rotating selections. Lunch or dinner, Ottavola is always the right call. Call ahead and get Ottavola to go, or stop by the bar for a drink with friends. It's simple. Come and eat at Ottavola Market Cafe, Red Banks Road next to Food Lion, and OttavolaMarket.com. Ottavola, Pirates supporting pirates.
The convenience of Pitt Greenville Airport is waiting just outside your front door. Service is back, so you're connected to destinations worldwide through flights from American Airlines. Plan your next trip. Book your flights today at flypgv.com or aa.com.
Avoid the long check-in lines and congestion at the big airports and fly local at PGV. Fast, convenient, and close to home, PGV has more American Airlines flights. Book today at aa.com. PGV, where the pirates fly.
Hey Pirates, this is Holt Nailers. A big part of my success on the field is what I eat at home. To keep my body filled up, I order meals off a Clean Eats meal plan. I choose the meals I want from 6 different meals offered each week, and I pick them up on Sunday or Monday at the cafe on Red Banks Road. Each meal is packed with the perfect mix of healthy proteins, carbs, and veggies to keep my engine running at full speed. Go to cleaneats.com, click on meal plans, or stop by the cafe and get all the info. Clean Eats and the Pirates, a winning combination.
The 80s and 90s were filled with obnoxiously loud styles. Dudes wore crop tops and super high shorts and rocked it with the confidence of 10,000 Sean Connerys and Tom Sellecks combined. And at Tailgate Classics, their mission is to bring that energy back. Locally owned and operated by ECU alum Cam Higley, Tailgate Classics has a unique line of vintage and retro tees, polos, jerseys, hats, and more. Go by the store today at 304 Evans Street in Greenville and check out their website at shoptailgateclassics.com.
Do you want to get rid of wrinkles,
Tighten and lift your skin, smooth skin texture, erase veins and brown spots, and get rid of unwanted hair? Are you interested in Botox or filler? Contact the licensed professionals at Beauty Bar Medispa on Red Banks Road in Greenville. Free consultations available. Visit us at beautybarmedispa.com. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Enjoy your visit. Love your transformation. Go Pirates!
This is Tim Doust, ECU Football Special Teams Coordinator, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
Listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Hey, the Pirate Radio Football Kickoff Party is approaching fast, and tickets are on sale right now for only $10. 100% of the ticket sales will be donated to local charities, and you can join Pirate Radio on Thursday, September 1st at the State Theater in downtown Greenville, featuring 80s music by the Breakfast Club, plus many more special surprises. Just go to pr927fm.com to get your tickets now before they sell out. And congratulations to Kevin Cozart of Winterville, our big winner, in walking away with a case of Freedom Beer on our Free Beer Friday. Clip?
All right, thank you, Shirley Rhodes. Congratulations to Kevin. CJ Schaefer, Chandler Honeycutt here. And let's wrap up the program with Brian North, who joins us on the Pirate Radio Live line. And we as humans say, how you doing, as a greeting, when really we don't care about the response. So instead of saying that, Brian, I'm just going to say, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
And the problem is sometimes when we say, how you doing, and we get the answer, then we don't want to hear it. We regret actually asking the questions.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's, better to not ask a question unless you're ready for the answer.
Well, Brian, we hope you're doing well. We're getting ready for the fun time and really the busy time of sports. I saw your tweet got me fired up when you started showing all those football helmets, Brian. I got to admit, it doesn't take much to fire me up for football, but rolling through those high school helmets, college helmets, that got the juices going a little bit.
It certainly does, and when you see it all together and you get thinking about all the pomp and circumstance and the fun of Saturdays and the pageantry and the allegiance to logos and really it starts on Friday nights with high school football, college Saturday, pros on Sunday. And no, it's such a fun time of year once you get into that, and this is kind of the prelude. This is kind of like the appetizer when you start preseason camps to start talking about it again. You don't have to make the full commitment as a fan. You can be like, oh, yeah, it's almost here, then finish up what you have to do and be ready when the games go. But for the players and the coaches and us in the media, I mean, football season is now officially underway, and it only ramps up more each week. So it's always a fun time of year, but at the same time, it's like, oh, gosh, where did summer go?
We've been talking a lot of Big Carolina 3A, 4A, and also this week I've talked to Perry Owens from Washington, Todd Light from Aiden Grifton, Ron Cook from Farmville Central, talking about that conference as well. And Perry Owens, who was at the top a couple seasons ago, Wes Craven wins it last year, says it might be a little more open this year, but those two teams seem to be the favorite heading into this season, Brian.
Hey, Wes Craven's got a couple D1 guys back. They've still got to figure some things out offensively, but defensively they're going to be really stout. Look, Washington, I mean, Perry's going to poo-poo it that he lost Terry Moore and lost his quarterback, and so he's going to say that they're going to have to regroup. But his program, he's got a lot coming up through. He's really done a good job of establishing the program and has good numbers. Wes Craven's numbers are down a little bit as far as number of players actually playing. So that's part of it. And then, look, you've got other teams, North Pitt with a new coach at C.J. Wilson, but Coach Watford turned things around there. And, Todd Light, I'm sure, has got things going on at Aiden Grifton, and Southwest Edgecomb's always a perennial power. So you get these teams out there. Farmville, Ron Cook now will be in his second season. He kind of was thrown into things real quick, and that's a program that's trying to reestablish, and Ron will do a good job there, too, kind of not only at the varsity level, but getting the JV program back and the junior high program back. At Farmville, football's kind of been neglected there, and it's going to take a while, but they've got to establish some of those programs back again, and Ron's doing just that.
Man, we talked about that yesterday. Shirley said it after our Ron Cook conversation, because Farmville traditionally a good football team. Now it's known as a basketball school with Larry Williford and what they do with the women's program there. But I didn't realize, Brian, Shirley said it. We kind of took JV for granted, and I just kind of assumed that everybody had a JV team and a varsity team. That is certainly not the case. And Ron Cook talked about, bringing that back, and you kind of hit on it there with Washington and their program. That's huge to have freshmen and sophomores playing in real games on Thursdays, getting ready for the big Friday night lights. And not everybody in the 2A and 1A can experience that. They just don't have the numbers. So Todd Lipes hoping for a JV team. He was kind of non-committal when we asked him about numbers, but sounds like Farmville Central is going to have one, and that's a good sign.
Yeah, with them, I think the big thing that hurt them a couple of years ago, they didn't have a junior high program that disbanded, and that's when they're teaching the core fundamentals to these kids. I mean, yes, pee-wees and all that, but junior high is so important. Middle school, like it, whatever you want to call it, so important to these feeder programs, and the JV program really helps. The problem is football numbers are down with everybody. Participation numbers are down when it comes to football. Like most sports, it's almost becoming specialized at a younger age, and some kids who used to be multi-sport athletes picking other sports to concentrate on year-round, particularly in Farmville, where basketball is king right now. But Farmville's got a really good baseball program, too. And so I don't know if they're getting the number of kids to play multiple sports there like they used to, which helps bolster those athletic numbers. So then you have soccer is getting bigger. Lacrosse is taking up some bodies as well. So there's more things for kids to do out there now in the specializing. So football numbers overall, participation numbers are down, and that's also hurting a little bit with all programs.
Brian, you've been in the South long enough you can call it middle school, not some highfalutin Yankee talk junior high. I've always, I guess, is that a thing, right? It's middle school, some places in the country, junior high, others.
Yeah. Just when you have a high school, you have a junior high school.
It makes sense.
So I guess
we really dumb it down here in the South. Let's see. It's not elementary. It's not high. It's in the middle. Let's call it middle school.
Yeah. Grade school, middle school, high school. I don't know. As long as you can figure it out when we're talking, that's all that matters.
Very sad. It'll be my daughter's last year in middle school / junior high.
Ooh.
Yeah. So enjoy those days, Brian, even though you're chasing around your girls. How about we had a little we've had Little League teams come in all summer, but a little daddy daycare experience today. Blake Harrell has 3 young girls. I thought about you, Brian, because he was in the area and he was like, hey, man, just looking for them something to do. So I was going to show him a radio station. Is that cool? I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And they're over there tapping on the fish tank and running around. So, man, 1 girl is enough for me. I feel for you, you gentlemen with multiple daughters.
That'll be brilliant. I will be there Monday.
Yeah, come on by, Brian. Hang out for a little while. Aunt Shirley can show them how to make promos and things like that. She's good with kids.
The oldest one is good enough. She'll do what you say. So she'll repeat. She even has her own ability to ad lib now. So I think she'd probably be good at doing some of those promos.
Got the North sense of humor and comedic timing down already.
I don't know. She definitely the not reading the prompter and making up what you want to make up. Yeah, she does that. Yeah.
Brian North joining us today. Had Mike Houston on earlier and Steve Shankweiler. So we are gearing up, Brian, in that first opponent, NC State, coming into town September 3rd. Picked second in the Atlantic this week behind Clemson. How about Devin Leary, preseason offensive player of the year over, any Clemson Tiger, Sam Hartman, anybody else in the league. So high expectations for Devin Leary and the Wolfpack this year.
Well, when he stays healthy, he's great, and his offensive line is back, so you would expect him to be percentage-wise as healthy as he could be, and for ECU, unless he gets hurt in camp, he'll be healthy in that first game of the year, and that's when you talk about that first game of the year is always interesting because everybody should be healthy for the most part. Obviously, camp injuries happen, but just the wear and tear of game days, that first week is always going to be. Look, ECU is becoming the sexy favorite for an upset, so at some point you're not an underdog anymore when everybody keeps picking you to beat the overdog. But I think NC State's going to be a tough out. They're just so fundamentally solid under Dave Doran. And to have everybody back, I think with the restrictions in practice now and some of the things that you can do, an experienced team with everybody coming back and the reps they have is so important in those early games in the season. So ECU is going to have to play great and make plays and not expect NC State to give them the ball game and turn it over just based on their experience. You're going to have to go and beat NC State. They're not going to beat themselves early on.
I'm guilty of this too, but we are previewing these games way too early because we've already got Jeff Nadeau, the big man on campus, already put a bet in on East Carolina plus 10.5. Brandon Walker from Barstool's picking ECU straight up to beat NC State. And then today when I saw Josh Graham on Twitter said he wouldn't be surprised if ECU won, that's when I knew that the Pirates are going to lose by 21.
Yeah,
so
correct.
We have got to somehow shift this into people picking NC State between now and September 3rd. Pirates are way too much of a public underdog right now. I don't like it at all, Brian.
Well, and NC State was so talked about so much in the spring already.
Yeah, really. Yeah, it goes it changes with the seasons, I guess.
We're so bored with NC State already. We haven't started preseason camp yet. That's how bad it is. Attention deficit disorder we have when it comes to college football. That we're already trying to pick an upset before teams even put the pads on you.
There you go. Man, I'm starting to look at the schedule. NC State, man, they're tough. Cincinnati, Houston, UCF. I think the closer we get, and this was somewhat certified last night by someone else. I was in the on the Twitter Spaces. Brandon Walker was talking college football, and I asked him who is this year's Cincinnati, the non-Power 5 team, to run the table, and he says it's BYU. I'm starting to think that might be the toughest game on the ECU schedule because they'll probably be top 20, Brian, preseason. Phil Steele had him in his top 15. And we don't talk about them a lot. They've been on the schedule twice, and we killed them here with Scotty Montgomery one year and then played a classic in Provo in 2015. But they're a team that are off the radar right now that by the time that game comes up, that could be on the national radar.
So it's kind of funny because I saw BYU's been dropping games to kind of fit their conference games in, or the ones that have to get in now. And I noticed they haven't been dropping ECU, right? So
is that a sign?
Think about where they think ECU is on their pecking order and getting their resume built. So I think they look at that as a game they can certainly win and want to go on the road. And look, man, the Latter-day Saints, they travel. Remember the BYU crowd when they were here the last time? They had a really good impact in the stadium. They just didn't put a very good show on the turfs, but they've kind of fixed those problems they had that 1 year or two, and so they're going to be a tough out. And that's one of those that when you look in the schedule, you're like, oh boy, that. When they did that schedule a few years ago, you're like, okay, that's a winnable game. But now that is one of the toughest ones that ECU will have this year. That NC State. Look, no, that Pirate schedule is not easy. Coming off their first winning season since 2014, it is not an easy schedule by any means. And you can have a really good football team and not have a winning season because of a tough schedule.
Yeah, that's a good point. And looking ahead, Brian, we were kind of discussing this yesterday, the future schedules and what's it going to look like with in-state Power 5 opponents and those Power Conference opponents in general. And you're at Michigan next year with a bye game, and that's going to be a lot of fun and cool to see East Carolina in the Big House. But looking at future opponents, NC State on the schedule in 2025 and in 2028. You've got App State on the schedule a couple times here coming up in the next few years. South Carolina, Wake, a million games with Old Dominion are on the schedule. Boise State popping up on the schedule in 2028. So you still got games to fill. And moving forward, with the way college football is moving, it just seems less and less likely you're going to get a big-time opponent to come here to Greenville, Brian. And you just hope those relationships are enough with a state of Carolina. I love seeing Wake Forest back on the schedule coming up later in the 2020s. But you just wonder how many more of those games you're going to be able to get in the future.
And look, and you would think you want to get winnable games too. So maybe you don't always have to go after the big names, but you get regional opponents. And there's a lot of them around now with Coastal Carolina and Old Dominion and William and Mary and JMU and Marshall. And there's so many in the region. I was just actually looking at the CAA today, as it's changed a little bit, but it's become even more regional with them adding Hampton in. So now you've got Hampton right there, along with William and Mary and Richmond and Old Dominion. That Virginia conference. It's just, and Marshall's now in that conference as well. Or Marshall, I'm sorry, is in the what's the one with that?
Sun Belt.
Yeah, Sun Belt.
Yeah.
The Sun Belt Conference. I love that because it's regionalized.
Yep.
So while all these super conferences are being formed with no rhyme or reason in geography, I love what these other conferences are doing, going back to more of the regional concept and really creating some of these great rivalries. So for ECU, I don't think it's bad to schedule these non-conference games that regionally are games that you can win and also will create some interest and buzz because it's a fan base that can actually maybe get to the game and create a little bit more atmosphere, or vice versa. You can get to their place and really create a road atmosphere that'll be a lot of fun.
Brian North joining us. Brian, I was looking at the, you mentioned Hampton, looking at their coaching staff. Robert Prunty, their head coach. Brandon Williams, former Pirate linebacker, really good, probably underrated linebacker, is the outside linebackers and running game coordinator coach for them, doing both sides. And here's a name, Brian, Kentwan Balmer, who I remember him went to North Carolina, right? Was he an Eastern North Carolina high school guy, or did he just go to Carolina?
Why do I want to say he's a Roanoke Rapids kid? But so that would make him kind of Eastern North Carolina.
Okay.
But definitely, yeah, no, he was definitely a big name when he went to UNC.
Wow, you can't get one past Brian North, 35 years of age from Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina.
There you go.
Well done, man. I like to do this with IGO, like play old ECU players interviews and kind of give them a year, give them a small clue. And he's like Rain Man naming them. I'm going to name like just random high school players from the past, and I bet you could nail those. That was pretty impressive, Brian.
Yeah, every now and then you get lucky, but sometimes it's just a name. Like with Kentwan, is a different name, and I don't know why the Roanoke Rapids thing always stuck in. And that's not in our viewing area, but those are teams we do cover a lot, and they don't get any other coverage, so they kind of gravitate towards us a little bit.
Are they still the? Are they the Redskins, or were they the Redskins?
No, Roanoke Rapids is the Yellow Jackets.
Who are the Redskins?
Well, you got the Manteo Redskins still out there.
Okay.
You got the Roanoke Redskins, but they consolidated with Beargrass. And
that's who I was thinking of. Yeah.
Brian Pascal used to be the head coach. Marcus Crandall was a Roanoke Redskin. Tremaine Goddard, some of them. So
oh yeah.
I actually have a Roanoke Redskins helmet. I never had a Washington Redskins. I have a Roanoke Redskins helmet, and they look about the same.
So all those helmets you got, Brian, and you put them on display on the Blitz, and we saw a video of it last week. It was really cool. Are those like your personal helmets at this point, or are they the state? Who owns those helmets?
Well, we haven't had a divorce yet where we have to put those things up in a custody battle.
Yeah.
But I would think if you had to take it to a court, I would think because I procured them, they would be mine, but you could make the case they're station property. That's where they're stored. That's what they're used for. It'd be an interesting court battle.
I'm glad I brought this up. You need to contact your lawyers when you get off the phone. And how about this? Your station has gone through so many hurricanes and storms and floods. That really shows you that the safety of those helmets, they've lasted the test of time, Brian. That's good stuff.
When we got flooded by Hurricane Florence, I had some helmets that were, we hung most of them, but there was a few that had to sit on the floor, and one of them was my JMU helmet. And so as soon as we were allowed to get back into the station, I went and I didn't even go to my desk. I went into the Leemore locker room and rescued my helmets and dried them out and made sure they were okay. So they certainly have been a pet project through the years. And when we had that great, Leemore locker room to display them, it was a lot of fun. I really kept up with it. We have decision makers at our place now that, they think less is more. So we just display a few on some key matchups, but we've talked in the future of maybe getting back and building another Leemore locker room in the future because I just think it's a great look.
Oh, yeah.
I think it gives people something to look for when they tune in. So maybe your team isn't in the immediate highlights, but you can look and see if you can find your team's helmet out there. It's just a lot of little things I always liked about it. But, it's a cool collection, and probably what's even cooler is my unfinished upstairs of my house where all the helmets that have gone out of rotation.
Oh, nice.
Well, see some of the crap I have up there. I'm trying to figure out what to do with them because no one in my family, when I pass on, is ever going to want them. So I'm trying to figure out exit strategy.
I was about to say, if your wife ever gets sick of seeing them and you need to get rid of some, let me know. And then my next thought was, then my wife's going to make me get rid of them to somebody else and pass them right back on. But, if you want to throw me in the will for a helmet or two, I'll take them.
There are certain schools that never change, though. And so you only have a few. Like D.H. Conley, I only have 2 D.H. Conley helmets. when Brian Paschal was there, he had the Michigan wings.
Right.
And then I've got the current Conley logo. Those are the only two that they've had in my 20. This will be my 25th season, and those are the only logos that I can remember on those helmets.
Well, Washington had the Michigan style forever too, but they have a W now, right? Am I right on that?
Well, so Brian Paschal, which ironically he's a Wake Forest guy, he played football at Wake Forest, was an offensive lineman. He's the one who actually would take the Michigan wing design wherever he went. He had it.
Okay.
He had it at Conley, and then Perry Owens has gone back to the traditional W, which I thought I was up to date on, but he immediately messaged me when I posted that video and says, "Got to get you a new helmet." So that's what we'll be doing.
Oh, that's a nice strategy too, Brian, to just post old helmets and coaches will say, hey, we got to get you a new one. That'll get you a new helmet. All right, well, heck, let's end it here. Let's put you on the spot.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can name multiple so you're not pissing anybody off and getting letters and emails, but favorite high school helmet currently? Name a couple.
Well, West Carteret.
I agree. That's a beauty.
Yeah, well, they always have the flag design, and this year they've actually printed out trucker hats, which I know you're a fan of.
Yeah. And
they've got the cool flag design with their logo on it. And so I've put in an order for one of their trucker hats. It's really cool. But West Carteret immediately because I'm not a fan of a copycat. Like if you're copying an NFL or college logo, I'm not big on that. I mean, it is what it is, and some teams will do it. But so that was a good one. James Keenan, and I go and say that, and then I do this. James Keenan, I love James Keenan's helmets, but it is a copy of the Cincinnati Bengals striped helmet.
Oh, yeah.
Yellow and black, and I've always loved that.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask you when I saw that video, who was that? I like the design on that one.
Yeah. James Keenan Tigers, they had that when they won 2 state championships in the mid-2000s. Then they went away from it, and then they went back to it and had some success again. So I don't think they'll ever leave that. So that's another cool one. I love Southwest Onslow with the horseshoe, and now they do the horseshoe on one side and galloping horse on the other, so they're trying to appease both. But I've always loved the Lucky Horseshoe of Southwest Onslow. Rose is one of those that always changes. They go green to white to different logos. They probably have had North Lenore and J.H. Rose have probably had the most logo changes, and Swansboro have had the most logo changes through the years. That have to get a helmet almost every new one every year.
And this has been Old White Men talking about helmet designs, and it's one of the best conversations I've had in months, Brian, so I really enjoyed this.
It's fun, and, when colleges started going to the alternate helmets and the chrome, and so it's always this, you want tradition.
Yeah.
If you don't have tradition, I think it's kind of cool to go those other ways, but, Penn State's going with white forever, right? And it was a big controversy when they added the black stripe and down the middle. Now Alabama's been plain, and the Alabama numbers that a lot of high school teams copy now. But so tradition is great, but I also think if you don't have tradition, why not try something new every year and do cool stuff? And that's what Swansboro did. They had some really cool helmets, including one with almost too much of an intricate pirate flag on it, because when you look at it up close, it's awesome, but you can't really see it when they're on the field running around smashing. So it's just the big old letters is just as easy, and the Alabama numbers are just as easy. But no, New Bern's got a pretty cool helmet now too. They've got black with the New Bern City logo on one side.
Okay.
So
I like that.
That's been different. I always like originality, so I think that's cool.
Good deal. Let's talk more helmets and high school football next week. That was good stuff, Brian. Thanks for joining us, man. Brian North today on Pirate Radio Live. Have a good weekend and get through next week, and let's get ready for football, North.
Man, it's getting closer to every day. Let's enjoy the process, one day at a time.
All right, Coach North joining us today here on Pirate Radio Live. Excited for all levels of football to begin soon, and next week we'll be covering East Carolina fall camp as they report, so we'll be out there with videos, pictures, some interviews as well. And coming up on Monday, we're going to welcome in our Elite Eight, our Grade 8, our Players Lounge presented by Delcor will be opening up, and excited to welcome on some new faces this year: Isaiah Winstead, Ryan Jones, Miles Berry, to name a few. So looking forward to that coming up. Keaton Mitchell as well.
Excited about that, and excited about welcoming back the Brian Bailey Show. And if you missed Mike Houston today, you can go back and watch it or listen to it, whatever you want to do. But Mike Houston will join Brian Bailey coming up on Monday at 12 noon.
That is correct. And more Mike Houston also coming up in a couple weeks. We'll talk to Mike Oresco. We'll be talking high school football the following Monday at Chan Man and Tuesday as well, because we'll be at Parker's Barbecue for the Big Carolina 3A, 4A Media Day. And I'm excited about that lunch, and also talking to all those coaches about the upcoming high school football season. We'll have D.H. Conley football on Pirate Radio once again in 2022. And we wrap up July here, and it's about to be full systems go.
Next show that we have clipped, it will be August.
It will be. My fantasy league's keepers are due on Sunday night, so once we hit August, it's draft season. We got a football game on TV less than a week from today.
Less than 6 days.
We got college football coming up. What was the countdown to kickoff yesterday? 37?
37, 36.
36 today.
It'll be, I'm going to go ahead and spoil it. 30 days until kickoff coming up on Thursday next week.
Well, we are only 29 days away from college football kicking off with week 0.
Week 0. And this is a stupid question because I, for one,
there are no stupid questions.
Are you excited about week 0?
Sure.
Because I know it's not, some of the matchups are not the best, but
no, there's really nothing to be excited about for week 0. The best game will probably be the one played in Dublin, Ireland, Nebraska versus Northwestern. You've also got Wyoming at Illinois. That could be pretty good, maybe. Charlotte at FAU.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was looking at that one.
The Rattlers of Florida A&M at North Carolina. And Vandy at Hawaii, 10:30. I'm all in on that.
I want to be up watching that.
That's
CBS Sports Network.
So that is Saturday, August 27th. So that's what's coming up in August, folks. Excitement time.
Excitement time.
Today, Mike Houston dropped a go time on us.
It's go time. And a lot of opportunities.
A lot of opportunities. All right, thanks for tuning in today. We will talk to you Monday right here on Pirate Radio Live. For Shirley Rhodes, CJ Schaefer, the Chan Man, I'm Clip Brock. So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Pirate Radio Live, an exclusive presentation of the voice of the Pirate